we on? Are we live? Are we doing it?
Let's do this thing.
Hey,
We're doing the thing.
It'd be time.
We did it, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
We are so
We're
back.
doing campaign wrap up now.
Oh, that was quick.
How was it? Everybody have a good time?
Yeah.
Good? We're done. Let's get out of here.
I'm so glad we spent all of that time during our backstory stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, hooray. Welcome back to SCNS doing Tyranna stuff. That's what we call it.
Oh, and I did not title it that.
Oh.
Too bad. Fix and post.
Of course,
Thank you.
I'm Kat. I'm DMing. And with me, I have all the strong guys are present.
Yay!
Let's go run be playing.
Worst name ever.
Let's start here this time.
Best name.
Hello, I'm Christian, and I'm playing Azra the Wizard.
Hello, I'm Cass and I'm playing Octavia.
Hi, I'm Mia, and I am playing Ronnie, the Air Ganassi Ranger.
I'm Jason, and I'm playing Alabroth, the Dragonborn Cleric.
Hi, I'm Cora, and I'm playing Brana, the Aasimar Rogue.
Hooray! Sorry, can we zoom in on my camera for me? Or no?
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, hold
Who
on.
did that?
Oh, it
Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
you can see the back of my hair. That's weird.
Well, I was just like, I did all this work on my makeup.
I did no work on what my ponytail looks like from the back, so let's not see that.
I mean, I wasn't saying it's an improvement over the back of your head. Alright, that should be good.
Something I was pointing out that Cat is a wide shot.
Yeah.
Camera resets when it wants to.
Da da da.
Dun.
Cool. So,
Da-da-da-da-da.
last session, you guys came all back together at Alabroth's request in the town where you started out, the tiny town of Foot Roads, where most of you started out. You guys got there, and then you fought a lot. You,
Somebody said Cat was low.
Alabroth had rancid vibes.
Where? There's no one chatting.
Somebody texted him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Rancid vibes from Alabroth, just accusing everybody of not caring,
Yeah.
which was a nice little mirror to Cass, to Octavia, before, and Ronnie and Brana kind of took turns yelling at him about that, and you guys talked to the widow, Soraya, and to, didn't write it down, Diane, at the bar, and they asked you to try to resurrect Rock, who got killed the day you met. So you went out there, you tried, you got interrupted by a very upset changeling,
Bastard.
screaming about how you couldn't let anything go and you ruined his life or whatever. And you fought.
You two are friends.
You fought and you killed the changeling, hooray! And just kept kicking his face till he died. And you attempted the ritual again. Brana let you guys all know that if his soul was not willing to return, that it wouldn't happen. And Brana was able to kind of find Rock through Alabroth casting a spell. And he did, in fact, want to come back. And so Brana kind of guided him home. And that's pretty much where we left off. I will say that while the spell takes an hour to cast, I'm going to go ahead and pick up right from there, from when he came back. Alabroth is exhausted. Rock and Soraya are kind of still rolling around.
Oh, so we're still in the graveyard.
Yeah. I know we kind of like pulled you back, but I didn't know if anybody would want to like look around to see if there was anything significant
I would
in
like
the battle.
Somebody needs to loot them bodies.
I would like to
Oh, yeah,
do
sure.
one other thing while we are here.
Yes.
I would also like to take the soul of the second in command
Okay.
with the changeling.
Oh.
So
Nice.
so I have her soul too.
How many of those can you do?
Max 6.
You can take all of them. I guess all the ones that we killed.
Well,
except for the
I
red
still
one.
had some from before.
Oh, okay.
There were, I think you killed one other person.
Hmm.
Did you kill one other person? Or did they all leave?
A couple of
I
them
think
ran
the
off.
others
One of them
just-
died.
2 of them died.
The changeling died.
And the other one died.
that-
You murked one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, and the changeling.
Astron and Ronnie curb stomped one of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the other 3 left.
Astron?
That's what I'm going by.
That's right. I
So
forgot.
I introduced
Actually, I should just
I
have it
wrote
as.
it down because I was not gonna remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I didn't remember because I didn't write it down.
And we pick up right there. So what, or maybe kind of in the middle of the spell, even though how it resolved. What do you guys spend the hour doing?
I think I'm definitely. I want to go look through and see if there's anything significant on anybody that's dead.
Apparently, I can't do much after doing that.
Or
roll.
in the middle.
Yeah, in the
Middle
middle.
of the spell. So
Yeah,
definitely not.
we are currently occupied.
I feel like Octavia or Astron has to calm down
Yeah, for
after
sure.
a fight. So like most of you are kind of sitting around talking to Soraya while he was focusing on that. But like, yeah, you can make an investigation check if you want. If you want.
That's a 5.
Could I make an investigation check?
Yeah, you can do that, or you can help. Either way.
What is your investigation?
+1.
Okay, I will make my own roll then. That's a dirty 20. Give me all of their pocket lint.
Well, in a way that you might not be surprised at, they don't have almost anything on their persons. But
They didn't bring their entire bank account with them to battle?
their journals,
Yeah.
their journals,
Yeah.
their journals and their bank accounts.
Yeah.
So you
A
can
lockbox conspicuously key attached. Why?
Yeah. What luck?
I like how that sounded like a note you were making. Lockbox. Parentheses.
attached.
Key attached. Why? Question. Like
you look
and
in
like
their
10
notes
questions.
at for all their passwords. And it would make sense though that you are more adept maybe at instantly recognizing items that have a vibe about them. And you find this.
Ooh.
They call me the vibe checker.
No
Do
one.
they?
Cass is writing it down, so it's true.
I told his girlfriend to call him the vibe checker. Just
And you can
Just to see the
read
look on
those
his
out loud unless your character
It's to
when
be the hot stepper.
unless you as Azra want to keep super secret what they are.
You're the jock
Let me
queen,
parse.
So like,
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I answer.
you.
God, shot chance.
And I will say it's
I
not
bought every
all the
single
information that exists about them. I just don't want to delay the start anymore.
Ezra, vibe checker. Noted.
But
Fun fact: the way you're physically describing this, that color is called Foolian.
isn't
A black that reflects nothing. It's like the deepest black that there is.
I thought it
But
was
you
Oh, yeah.
But you have to sign a waiver.
Well, it's like when
You
they
can't
finally
be
were able
what
to do
Anish
it, like in
Kapoor
Fantasy Foolian
You
is
will
what
not
it was
give
called
this to
before we
Anish
could actually
Kapoor.
do it.
okay.
I
Okay.
want that for my knife.
At least
That color.
in Book of the New Sun, he wears a cloak that's Foolian,
It
and
needs to
it's
be
so
redone.
dark that you can't even see it, basically.
I've never heard of a color that's so black that it's not called black anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so black.
There's a new paint. It was made by an asshole. And then somebody else made a different paint and said, "I'll give it to you for much cheaper." You're reading, right?
Yeah, sorry.
We'll give it to you for much cheaper, but you have to sign a waiver saying
You
you're not gonna
got
give it
some
to
of
the
that.
first
I
guy.
The
know.
black- yeah.
Yeah.
Vanta, I think was the
Vanta.
original
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like,
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
Well, that's why I'm just
it's a little bit of clever marketing on Stuart Semple's side because Vanta Black is not something that is actually useful as an art tool.
Because it's like toxic, right?
Not only is it like
It's not good paint.
It's not something you can paint with. It's
Mm.
tiny nanotubes that have to stand directly on end. If you touch it or like bump it or anything like that, it loses that effect.
That's garbage.
Yeah.
That's why it's like
Just
it
the
really
rails.
is not.
Okay, so
Well, he's
I was
reading,
giving
so.
him.
I think that like with that investigation check, you
Take his card.
I don't know if you can roll me one more investigation check or
I'll help.
I think an investigation check though because I want to see if you notice
Okay.
that Azra found something.
Do I know what these do because these are non-unique
Where's the
items?
toilet?
Like I would have seen or maybe learned about something like these before, or do I know what they do because I'm like detecting magic on them and analyzing them in the moment?
I don't think you know what they do.
Oh.
I think you know what they do, but I want to hand the cards out, and it was to you, so you have whatever. But like you don't automatically just know what they do.
Okay, so I should really only be reading the physical description, basically.
You can.
You
Yeah,
can
I
keep
didn't want
your
to
character
just write
knowledge in
that
your
out.
character
It's just
knowledge
like
section.
there's no imminent threat, so you can hang out with them, you can pocket them, you can do it later. I think I need to know what Azra would, just with Azra at first glance, she doesn't know what they do.
In knowing that Azra does not know what they do, she's going to want to figure out what they do. So she will.
Also have a way to find out.
Yeah, no, roll your second investigation to see.
I did.
What was it?
That was a natural 1.
Critical failure.
Octavia
Trips
and
over.
falls face down in the snow. And just stays there for a second. Just
I think her, like, maybe
Surely this
she
character
was trying to
embodies
do
her
something, and
strongest
she feels her heart rate is high.
Yeah.
And, like, for the past, like, 13 months-ish, she's been able to focus mostly on her in battle, and I don't know if she was entirely prepared for the caring desperately about the people you're fighting with, and also there's, like, first day back at camp vibes, and so she's just like, it's a lot all at once.
I'm being entirely serious. She trips, falls down, face in the snow, and stays there
Oh, and
for a
this
little
was
bit.
the cool feels kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like, she just, like, a little steam comes up, she kind of sinks a couple inches.
Alabroth season just kind of.
This is while we're. Isn't
Do
this
your
while
ritual.
This is while we're doing the
yeah,
ritual.
I think, like, I think he can catch that could happen. in
Like you
his
just hear
first-
this,
okay, okay.
while
Yeah,
doing the
like-
whole concentration, just one eye.
I think maybe, hey, roll me an insight check, because I just want to see, just for funsies.
4. Let's see. Oh wait, actually 15. My insight's plus
Yeah.
11.
Yeah,
We're
I
at that time.
don't think Alabroth even sees it. I think he just knows what happened.
Oh, so without
You're
a mask,
connected to the universe.
does she just trip?
Just like these are your friends, and you know them well,
Figured as much.
and you know that
Just standing
Octavia
there,
would be pacing
like, on
around,
my
kind
shoulder,
of.
hands
or
on
You
your
sense a
shoulder.
disturbance in the air around him, and he's
Azra
like,
takes
Octavia
out
just ate shit.
a black like kerchief, and she uses that to remove the rings without like fully touching them. And as she's doing so, not hearing the commotion that just occurred, she says, "Octavia, Astrid, you have those boots of analysis. What were they called?"
Boots of mean old person.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
Yes, I do.
notably, you probably upgraded the boots themselves.
The boots themselves are definitely different, but yeah. Yes, I still have the boot straps.
Without lighting in his eyes. Oh dear Lord.
I found these two objects that I'm curious about. Do you mind using those?
No, of course not.
No.
She'll kind of
I've been waiting for
and trudge
Ezra,
over.
Ezra has totally been around when they use one of these.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When?
We were at
Oh.
Brana's house one time. She used them kind of in the corner of it in a general area. It's been a couple of times.
Okay.
You have
So
been
you've
present
heard
for
them
this,
for sure.
Okay,
And
okay.
they're loud.
Yeah, it's just been a while.
as most boomers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to know this. I was trying to think back on specifics, but they've also investigated things that weren't magic. So
Would you like to borrow these so that you can do your little performance and read off the
no,
description?
but like since she's identifying, you can hand her the cards just to like look at. There's also more to it than is on the cards. Okay.
Oh.
It's so how does that look? What do you do?
I go a decent ways off from where the ritual is taking place because I don't want to disturb them, and I kind of. Okay. And I put the rings behind me. Rings, I guess?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a ring that is so matte black that it does not reflect anything. It's like you're looking at a
Okay.
part of a computer monitor that has stopped working, basically. And then another ring that is also black, but you see like shifting, swirling.
Okay.
Figures in
I'll
it.
start with the shadow, shifting, swirling shadows one, and I'll pull the bit straps.
So like, I think like yeah, she goes off some so as not to disturb the ritual. I rolled for how quiet is the night. And normally you would have gone far enough where it would be fine, but there's something especially quiet about snow.
Oh yeah.
And you haven't had occasion to use these in a while. And the bootstraps cross in the middle, and you see once again like this cartoony kind of upsetting face up here, and slowly like blink
Hello.
at the rings, and goes, "That is just like your whole generation, right? You need things that depend on one another because you can't just do things yourself. But I guess whatever. This is the twin mind, okay? And while somebody's wearing this, if they're tuned to it, if somebody you're fighting within 60 feet of you makes a spell attack or casts a spell that requires a saving throw, you can pierce their mind. And the next attack you make against that. Anyway, next time you try, it's automatically like a super special hit. Like it hits harder. It's stupid, because you can't get all the way through by yourself, right? None of you guys can. Also, like, if this ring sees the other ring within 30 feet of it, then if the other ring guy wants to, you could switch places.
Okay.
You can do one of each of those
Harmonized.
a day.
Okay.
And because it's like, ooh, sunset, oh, we're dark, oh, we're mysterious, it regains the ability to do that at night. Is that good enough?
Okay. Talk about the other one.
You have to do it again.
Okay.
And it like closes its eyes and goes away.
Okay.
Now let's say, for the sake of the argument, that two people, both of these rings, are in the same vicinity. Then they could use the ability to switch places.
Thanks, Benjamin. Yeah.
Right?
Again.
Oh, I caught that too and did not like it.
Yeah.
Let's
Caught
say
it
there are
immediately.
50,000
I
children
wanted to throw a
in a
chair.
person, right? Like, what?
Let's say.
So, like,
yeah, pulse
you
again.
cast it again, the eyes, again, like, kind of blink opens, like, oh, this one's even, like, darker. Like, look, oh, light doesn't even do anything. Okay, so if you're fighting somebody you see hits one of your buddies with an attack, you can react to half the damage. And you could do that once a day at night. And also when somebody like casts a spell that restores hit points, you can restore that same amount to another one who's attuned to the Sun Eater's twin mind.
Okay. Okay.
And at night, you can
Okay.
do it again.
Okay.
Don't have me come back twice in a row.
Thank you.
I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
Just like pieces out. Oh, and then like comes back and is like, I can do more stuff now, but you'll have to figure that out
What?
yourself.
No, what can you do?
Bye.
What could they possibly be doing?
I don't know, but now I want to know. But that's for later.
Complaining about their grandchildren, I guess.
And then I just
I don't know
still
why they
once
don't come to
again.
visit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad.
So 2 rings.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we heard.
Yeah.
Excuse
Yeah.
me, we heard.
Everyone heard.
I.
I can honestly say I didn't follow, but I did hear.
Yeah. I think I understood.
Basically, like one of them makes the next attack that person makes a critical. Like one of them's like an auto crit hit.
Against someone who just cast a spell.
Who just attacked them.
Yeah, if someone attacks me and I have to make a saving throw, then I can use this and my next attack against them has
Or if the
advantage.
attack hits, I think. I think it's either or. I kind of
It's
abbreviated
specifically. Oh, okay. Well, then this is null.
it. The only thing I did to the description, yeah, it's makes us. Oh, it's a spell attack against you, or saving throw, but it does have to be a spell.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has to target
Has
you,
a
the
spell
person
thing.
wearing the ring.
It says against you, and I am because these are quite powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to require a targeted spell. It can't be AoE.
So- Yeah. It's basically like a retributive strike against someone who just
It's like
spelled
Hellish
you.
Rebuke almost.
Yeah.
You use the reaction to pierce their mind, and then the next attack you make on your turn
Yeah.
is
I
automatically a critical
have an
hit.
idea of who I think that could be very, very useful for.
And then also,
Clarification rules wise.
Yeah.
It says the next attack you make against them is a critical hit. I assume, does that mean that the next attack you make auto hits and is a crit? Or is it the next attack that you hit with against them
I
is a crit?
actually rolled for it when we were doing the battle, but rereading it, it says is automatically a critical hit.
So that would mean auto hit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like, sneak attack potential.
And also,
A critical?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
and also, I did get one thing wrong on the cards. The bonus, the second ability, which is not written on the cards actually, never
Okay.
mind. Within 30 feet of the one who has the other ring, you can use
Right.
a bonus action to swap places with them.
Okay.
And that is 3 times. That can happen 3 times.
Okay. Dope.
Someone have a pencil book. Could I borrow that? We can edit these.
Notably, it has to be the one attuned to that one that makes that choice. The other one can't switch.
To the crit one?
The crit one
The
chooses
crit one makes
that.
the choice. Yeah. So
Oh,
this
so
one can decide to swap.
only
places.
Twin Mind makes the swapping choice?
Yes.
Because the Twin Soul is the one that can do the healing?
Yeah, the twin soul is can do 2 things: a reaction to have the damage,
Right.
and that's for anybody in the party.
Right.
Use your reaction to half, and that can happen once. And then the other ability it has is when somebody casts a spell, when you cast a spell that restores hit points, you can also restore that same number to the Sun Eater's Mind Wearer,
So I have
or
to.
to the Twin Mind Wearer.
I have to be the one casting the spell, and I also have to have the ring.
What do you say?
You said when you cast a spell that restores hit points. So if I'm the one using the ring to double the amount, or to
You
Also
can't do
restore.
it for Alabra. No.
okay,
It doesn't have to go to a healer. There's other reasons that it would be valid just to do for like the swapping places and stuff. But that's the abilities. And we're entering kind of a new era where I'm going to throw things at you that I do not know how you will use or distribute.
Yeah.
It's not so personalized now. So it's up to you to decide.
you can choose another creature to receive the same amount of hit points.
Yes. No, sorry.
Oh.
The half the damage on anybody.
Right.
Only the one attuned to the other ring can receive
Oh,
the
okay.
hit points.
You can choose.
So these are very, very paired with one another.
Yeah.
It's a swap places and it's a healing. That's why Octavia knows that like the changeling should have gone down before. He looked like he was
Yeah.
about to die, and then even though you didn't see a healer heal him, he seemed to get healthier. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the range on this place swapping?
30.
30.
And it says willing creature, which is interesting because usually you take willing for granted.
Yeah.
If the other one doesn't want to, right then, that's entirely valid. Like, they might be like, no.
Okay. Dope.
Yep.
And
Anyway,
that's 3 times a day on the swapping thing?
3 times a day on the swapping thing. 3 times a day on the other person wearing the ring gets the same amount of hit points.
Mm.
And once a day for the whole party ability. Once a day for the critical hit, once a day for the half the damage.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna fast forward a little bit because we're kind of going around. The ritual concludes. Soraya had gone to go get pebbles, comes back. They're all like in a dog pile, just hanging out. And you guys are just kind of there. And they're talking in quiet voices. They're just so distracted and overjoyed.
Did Diane come?
No.
We should maybe let them have some moments and go to the inn.
I think they're having a lot of movements as we speak.
Gross. Oh, the kid's here. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay, we'll help Alabroth to the.
Yeah, Alabroth can hardly stand up.
Yeah.
Roll me a strength check.
Shit.
Don't
You're
forget,
so
you have 4
strong.
levels of exhaustion.
Advantage?
It's a double disadvantage
Oh,
and
crap.
automatically fail. What?
Should I even just roll?
Disadvantage doesn't
Ronnie
stack.
will absolutely
disadvantage.
help you
Disadvantage
walk.
doesn't
Yeah.
stack.
Correct.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Mine was,
strength
mine
check?
was a joke.
Yeah.
Wait, add disadvantage, you said?
Disadvantage.
It's assisted though. I'm gonna help.
Okay.
It'd be-
I just want to see, like, if the first
18.
Oh wow.
Oh!
I actually rolled a 20 on the first one. And then-
Okay,
Shit.
so you stand up like before and you're like, man, I've got this. Like, I'm going to be okay. I don't have to let my
Yeah.
friends see me
Yeah.
as all frail. And then almost immediately, like, you almost entirely black out and you stumble and start to fall, and Ronnie grabs you to make sure that you can stay standing. You're feeling a tiredness you have never felt before.
Yeah, probably.
You're like,
Apparently, that spell takes a lot out of you.
you feel almost like you did when you got cursed and you had no control over your body. Like, just, it doesn't feel like the curse. You're just so exhausted that you can't will your body to keep going. And, yeah.
I think I could just lay down on the ground. The ground would be fine right now. I'll just lay down on the ground.
Ronnie, are you gonna let him go back to the ground? Roll a strength check.
No, I don't think I have a choice in the matter here.
That is 18.
Okay, so you're able to keep it. After a second, you realize that he's so big that moving him forward is going to require 2 of you, and I don't know who you call, but like eventually.
Wizard, no.
Person who's really mad
are we
at
looking
maybe
to
not.
crush our wizard? What is your strength? I don't want
It's
to.
not amazing.
I don't want her to try.
The trouble is you're both dex bases,
Mine
so
is actually fine. I'm 15.
yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
let
14.
I want you to try.
But he's
Okay.
mad at me, so there we go.
I think just based on
I don't
how
think I
big he
can.
is, you kind of have to. You kind of trade off. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
we can do this. He ain't heavy. Oh, he's
Astra,
so
Tail.
heavy.
Astra sitting there with the staff, like got him.
That's how
Can't
this.
move.
Actually, is
Wait,
there?
wait, wait! I got it. So
Ronnie will just look at both of you, decide arbitrarily who looks more buff in the moment, and call one of you.
No, I don't need to be carried. I can do
Brother,
this.
what do you do?
Brana is
No.
go like. Are you going over to help or no?
I'm looking very hesitant.
Brana will go over and get on the other side and do like
I
the,
don't need any
do the thing where it's like the arm over the shoulder and the hand holding up the
No,
pants to
no.
hold his back in.
I grab his tail.
I'm fine.
no,
I
see-
just need to lay down a second. That's all.
What exactly is his movement is halved? Is
Oh,
that it?
boy.
Movement is halved. His I don't know what quadruple. It's 4 levels
Jesus,
4
man.
levels
of exhaustion.
How do you get rid of 4 levels of exhaustion?
You
Sleep.
sleep for
Is
a
it just
long
one
time.
long rest?
And I think that's
It goes down by 1 each long rest.
Holy crap.
And
Wait. I think it's the other guy that's got 4 levels of exhaustion.
I think you both.
The one I resurrected.
Okay, I could be wrong about that. Yeah, double
Yeah,
check.
he doesn't have comp. Yeah, he doesn't have comp. Yeah. I can't cast spells. And it is let me clarify that. Resurrection. Yeah, Rock is the one that really can't do anything. Okay, he takes a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, ability checks. And every time he finishes a long rest, the penalty is reduced by 1. Until I finish a long rest, I can't cast spells. I have a disadvantage on pretty much everything.
Yeah, that might be rules as written, but
Oh.
you had to cast it twice. And I planned the session
Ah,
earlier
damn it.
to like sleep it off for a couple of days.
I got DM'd.
Yeah, I don't usually.
And not the
nerf you
Twitter way
guys.
that I like.
Mostly, it's only good things, but this case, like, yeah, I think, and I think that I can justify this. It's the changeling that you fought,
I don't have.
and you made it halfway through.
I'm not even going to attempt to argue with you about it. No,
Yeah.
I'm accepting this as it is.
And I think it especially affects you as a healer, because what you recognize is this isn't something that can just be waved away with healing. And I feel like that would be what was the most different to you. It was like, oof.
Would it be easier if you could just fly?
Huh? I can't fly.
I can make you
Oh,
able to.
I can make him levitate.
No one's doing
Drag
that.
around like it's a
No one's. No, am I not sitting here? No one's levitating or flying me. I object.
willing
I
creatures.
assumed you'd want to be by fire.
Huh?
That it's snowing.
Oh, it is
It's
snowing. That's
cold.
right.
Like I assumed you'd want to be by fire.
I don't like the cold. Can we go to the? I'm just gonna.
That's what we're trying to do.
Let's get you to the
He
end.
says
think I
as
could-
we're literally dragging him into the...
Yeah, apparently I don't get a choice in like
No.
the movement right now.
I feel like this is
But also,
like
if
someone.
you did, wouldn't you
Any
be
objections?
going with us?
I feel like this is someone like coming off of anesthesia where they don't know that
Yeah.
they're being moved.
Any
but
of
they're
my
like, no,
objections
don't
are
move
strictly
me.
verbal.
Yeah.
I'll die if you move me as they're
Yeah.
actively being moved.
Oh no, it hurts. I do want to know, what is Alabroth feeling right now as somebody who's like, well, I don't even need these guys anymore.
He's actually
With their rancid vibes.
He's also just been dressed down
he has some.
quite recently.
He has some new feelings.
Good. So yeah, you guys head back towards the inn. You open the door and you see a very, very sleepy Diane sitting there like, no, okay. She said you probably come back. Are they like doing it? What are they doing?
They're just having a family moment.
Yeah, that's what I figured. You guys want to drink? You just go in bed. What's happening?
If it's okay, we can pay and serve ourselves and keep the fire going. You don't have to do anything.
She's gonna be real mad if you pay for anything, but I would love to go back to
are
bed.
Okay, why don't you go back to bed
Okay.
and we'll have a talk and we'll keep the fire going. Is there anything else that needs to happen for the inn? Do we need to lock up or anything?
Are
We
there
don't
any
have a lot of
beds?
visitors
I
right
didn't
now.
think so.
Could I have one of the beds?
Yeah, like yeah, okay. And she hands you guys. There are only 4 rooms in this inn. She hands you 4 keys.
For once, Albroth's using a bed.
Yeah.
And she's
Good.
like, this one, they're not. None of them are big enough.
Well, a couple
This
of us
one
can
has
share.
2 beds in it. You could at least put them together. So
Oh, sure. I'll be right on that.
Before you go to bed, how often would you receive visitors this late into the evening?
never.
Okay.
There's only a bar. I'm only here because she woke me up.
Okay.
It's not. If anybody comes in here before sunrise, that's not one of them. It's an intruder.
Okay. All right. Noted.
So
Other-
Ronnie will be like, can
Are the rooms
we
upstairs?
push
Please
the-
tell me they're all the same
the
level.
beds
They're upstairs.
together so we can dump him on it?
Alabroth probably looks at the stairs and goes, Astra, I'll take that flight thing.
Okay.
It's
Is that how she says it?
Yes.
yeah, he probably just looks at the stairs like, nah, this ain't no way.
She gets behind you. She puts her hands on your hips, and as she casts fly, she goes, woo, and she sends you up the
I
stairs.
feel like you kind of launch, like soft launch, just kind of very gently bump against the stairs.
Like a balloon
Yeah, yeah.
slightly losing
Like
balloon.
zero gravity, like alien Romulus.
No, ow,
Just
ow,
zero
ow,
gravity
ow,
vibes
like
to it.
hitting everyone, ow, ow.
And you just this
You
giant.
could control this. You don't have to do that.
I'm not controlling a lot right now.
Okay, she comes up behind you and she's like using your tail to like guide you. She's steering you.
No.
Well, if you can't do it yourself, I'm gonna have to do it for
I
you.
think because of the way it goes, as you grab the tail, like
That's
he floats
not-
onto
that's
his
not
back,
cool.
and it's
Yeah.
just like
No, let the
Like a shark. Just
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make my way to whatever bed there is and like just.
Would you
kinda-
consider it a kindness if I removed that memory just now?
I've learned to live with them all.
Okay, good.
Does he want food? Does he want food?
I probably is gonna eat us.
That was in character, and she's like, does he want food?
Always.
Okay, yes.
I'll
Let's
like
prepare some food for
I'll
him.
try to unbutton
if
my
he's
armor and
still
just like
awake.
because it's my old beat up ass armor anyway, so like probably makes a very pathetic sound when it hits
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah, like, I think it's not a pathetic sound. I think it's extremely loud because you're floating, you're trying to get down, and you like unbuckle it and
Can
just
you?
kind of drop
Okay,
it.
so I'm in the room. Can you turn it off? Just turn it off now.
Oh yes.
Okay.
And you.
Onto bed.
Oh, onto the bed.
Onto
Okay,
the bed.
cool. Okay.
Bless Al.
I'll just
Roll a strength saving throw.
Oh, no. The bed's like, you release the spell, and you have this moment where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
and it just like kind of creaks, and then it holds.
somehow I just gotta roll over my back and just kind of. Thank you. I'm just going to be here.
And then like,
Good night, Alabroth.
if you guys want to make him food, that's fine. There's like, you've been in the kitchen, I think, actually once before. Everything's pretty well laid out, pretty well stocked. Do you guys go to bed also? Do you eat and hang out and drink? What do you do?
She's gonna start making food. I would hang out, like, but also I don't sleep very much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've like
I think that's up to you guys individually. What
Elevated.
are the
right.
No, I still transmit. I'm an elf, so I only sleep 4 hours a night.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a monk thing.
Rana's gonna do that annoying thing people do in the kitchen where he sits on the counter while she cooks.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie is actually going to also be in the kitchen, but he'll feel weird about sitting on the counter because someone's already sitting on the counter. That feels like too much. So
roll
he'll.
a perception check for me?
Okay.
Also, Alabroth's not asleep.
That was cocked.
Yeah, I feel like you're just staring
he,
at the ceiling.
He can't do
wondering-
anything, but yeah, he's like thinking about. He's got thoughts.
You're staring at the ceiling, wondering if you'll have the energy to chew.
21.
21.
With a 21, I think Ronnie catches right away that Octavia is kind of like MRE styled food making. She's not really great. You're like, oh, I can help with spices. So very quickly you're like,
Yeah, Octavia makes extremely passable food.
sorry, yeah,
Just-
like
just kind of
military food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That style.
Very
and you're
Spartan, very bland.
It's a lot of protein, but there's not really anything else.
You guys look around. The kitchen
Ronnie will-
hasn't changed
Oh,
much. There are various like kind of parchment drawings posted of Pebbles continuing to improve his skills, and it looks like maybe either he or Soraya. Somebody's also taken up like wood carving a little bit, and there's some sculpture-esque. It's very well appointed
And
with
one
spices.
large OSHA poster that appears to be handwritten in gray.
But yeah, just nice and homey.
These
Soraya
nets
apparently
full of
likes to
ham I
cook.
speak of.
What is Azra doing?
Azra will eat, but I guess she'll partake in conversation, but depending on where it goes, she may leave.
Okay, so how is that? Like, this is an awkward, like, reuniting kind of. Like, I don't know if you're just quietly making food. I don't know. And we can just move past it if you feel like you wouldn't
It's
right now.
mostly small talk. It's
Yeah, I think if
very
we
much
want-
how have you been?
Yeah, if we wanted to say something serious, we'd probably wait for Alabroth.
Yeah.
I think that Ronnie will get very comfortable very quickly in a way that will ease tension because he's concentrating on something other than how awkward everyone else is feeling.
Mhm.
I mean, if anybody had anything to say to Alabroth, you really couldn't go anywhere not to hear it.
Everybody just
If any-
huddle
if
around
any-
Alabroth.
If anybody wanted to go tell his ass off, like this is Jason speaking into out of
I mean,
character,
wait,
like ain't much he could do
I mean,
about it.
Brana got his shot in. I think Ronnie got his shot in.
I think with the vibes, like, you pretty quickly, like, make some food and you're all kind of hanging out. Maybe pour yourselves a drink. And then head upstairs just to see if Alabroth's still awake.
Yeah.
With
But since he is, like, maybe you're all kind of eating in there, maybe some of you aren't hungry, or maybe, I don't know.
I don't need food. Ever. Yeah, it depends on if Alabroth's still awake. If he's not, she's actually gonna say, Azra would like to talk to you just for a few minutes, if that's okay.
Looking at you two. Someone save me.
Oh, he's awake. He's just unable to do anything else.
Yeah.
I think he's like too tired to sleep. I don't know what that level of exhaustion would be, but
That sounds very right to me.
You don't?
huh?
I feel like being in the military, you would have
I don't know.
experienced.
I was still able to operate and do stuff. Like
Oh,
that. Hey! Did you take her mic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Smart.
good check.
In fact, if you want to look at that notebook what I just read there.
Yeah. Very specifically, I can't go to the bathroom to laugh, Mike. Very smart. I've
Yeah, good for
heard
I did
people
that
make that mistake
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
We all have.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ronnie excuses himself.
Yeah,
to-
Ronnie peas.
That's what Ronnie said when
In character
Amanda said
and,
getting very
Yeah.
comfortable.
and actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it would be weird that legitimately, I want to make this a moment because Ronnie gets up to like go,
Yeah.
and you got there's like, are we
going?
Are we going to bed? Like, what's happening? And just kind of, I don't know what he does. He probably looks at you and says, "I gotta pee."
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so nobody's deciding for you if you're talking about stuff or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on if it's about business, I suppose we should probably wait for Alabroth, don't you think?
I don't know what that means.
Do you think you whispered to her?
Yeah, kind of. Leaning in a little bit. And, yeah, I'd love to talk to you just for a few minutes, if that's okay. I don't know what business means in this context.
I just mean, just,
This would be
world
personal,
stuff.
I
Oh.
suppose.
Okay, sure.
Although business. Yeah.
You know what, you ask your question, I'll let you know if we should wait.
Well, I want to do the statement first and then a question after.
Oh,
Because I
statement.
feel like the question you'll be happier about.
Okay. You can make whatever statements you want.
Okay, I wanted to apologize if my attentions ever made you feel awkward. I want to apologize.
If your attentions?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
No. Okay. She turns away. She goes, so I had a massive crush on you, and I'm so sorry if that ever made you feel awkward. If you want to move on to the question right now, I totally, completely understand.
Everybody hears this.
Alabroth hears this upstairs.
Ronnie
No,
already
you guys
knew
are
this.
gathered now, I think, in Alabroth's room.
Oh, did we?
Oh.
Right.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
think...
so we would have stepped just outside, but yeah, you could probably still hear it, for sure.
Oh, okay.
I thought you didn't say. That's why I was asking if you whispered to her, because I wanted to see if the other people had vibes about like you very soon, like just splitting off. You know, like
Yeah. I
feel like you
mostly I
probably-
feel like that wouldn't matter, but right now,
I think Octavia
Could
would have
potentially.
taken me to a separate place to say something like that, right?
And just in the hallway, so we're definitely not splitting off, because everybody's still in the room, and we would be just outside the room.
Yeah. But if we weren't controlling our volume, people could still hear
I'm
something.
not gonna make people overhear if you tried to do something in private.
Not crazy
The only
a
thing
lot.
I was doing is like asking, do you guys feel some sort of way about with very
Us
fast? Let's talk in private with
No.
each other, and maybe you don't.
Ron,
Ronnie was also already aware of
Yeah, Ron-
Octavia's crush.
And
Yeah.
Ronnie was leaving.
You know who wasn't aware?
If Alabroth heard it, he's laughing right now.
Yeah.
I don't think Alabroth. Roll me a.
Are
did
you
Alabroth
conscious?
know about?
Yeah.
The-
I mean, I know now,
No, cause
and
you
I'd be
rolled-
laughing about
'cause
it.
you rolled like shit with when we had the conversation. So I don't think Alabroth did.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I would have heard the one in the hallway, though.
No, I think like if they split off, they did split off.
Okay,
enough.
never mind then.
But Ronnie can roll me a luck check because he went outside to excuse himself
Yeah.
for a second. I want to see if he comes back and overhears part of it.
Okay, flat 7.
Okay, with that kind of luck, you get way too close to them before you realize what's happening. So,
Just trips and falls right in front of him.
as you finish, turned away from
Yeah.
Azra, you see.
I see Ronnie coming down the hallway.
And because you were in like the first room off the stairway,
Yeah.
like
Octavia fully freezes. Just,
You didn't have time to realize what you were here until you realize, and you're like, oh.
And she's back.
Now. Hold on.
course, baby.
Has Azra seen or just Octavia?
I don't know, if you're staring at the back of...
Nat 20. So I
We are back.
Perfect.
saw. And Azra did not stop you.
I think that actually Azra's aware of Ronnie first.
Yeah.
What Octavia's saying.
I mean,
Absolutely.
A breeze follows Ronnie everywhere. Like, come on. there's-
Yeah.
Brana.
And then Ronnie makes a slight sound, and you, with your passive, you're like... And so then you're aware that Ronnie... Yeah, and Ronnie, what do you do? You
God bless
just
you,
walk
Ronnie.
past them and go back into the room?
Yeah.
As you continue to walk by, I go, thank you, Ronnie.
I'll take big red light.
Do you think... I want to follow Ronnie for a second. Do you think you walk... What do you do when you walk back in the room? Because there's a little bit of that anticipation. Like, what
He will. He will probably not be as amused as I am. But he's very aware that he just made it super weird, but that they don't know that that
How
happened.
visibly do we see that on Ronnie's face, though?
Ronnie, roll a performance check to hide it if you're trying to hide it.
Go on, Ronnie. Roll a performance check.
7.
Dina.
You guys know that Ronnie knows something about what they're talking about now, for sure.
Ronnie, what are they talking about? Arthur?
So
I'm
we're
gonna spill
both
the
just
tea.
staring at you like,
So, how's it going, guys?
No, not changing the subject. What happened out there?
It's not my business to tell.
He is now going to go over to the door and like.
Ronnie will
And with your
haul
rogue
you away
sneaking.
from the door.
Come on.
I feel my life force slipping away, and
Liar.
if I didn't know what's going on, it would be so cruel for me to die without the knowledge of what's going on outside the
Ron-
door.
Pain, take my mind off the pain.
It would alleviate
while
some
Ronnie
of my
had
suffering.
was like drunk, he's just like full on like the legs out, just out.
Ronnie?
Don't be nosy.
Oh, the pain is back. Oh.
I'm going to give
Well,
you
nothing
an
alleviates
insight
this.
check with advantage for reasons.
Oh.
I like advantage for reasons.
That's fair.
Well, I like advantage at all.
Probably trying to get
Oh!
trying to get an
I
arm to
understand
work for
reasons
food.
now.
You said insight?
Mm-hmm.
29. I know what's going on.
I don't know if you know what's going on. That's up to you guys if you talked about that when you did hang out some. But you know that there's like... Octavia's a lot more comfortable in a lot of situations that she wasn't before. There's one thing she's still a little like a schoolgirl in. That's all.
I feel like it at least came up at
It
some.
came up.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah. Then he's and he'll stop trying to get to the door.
And Ronnie will immediately understand that you got it, you've picked it up, and let go.
If you guys want to do a deception insight with each other as to why, that's...
So I'm just like looking back and forth, like, what are these?
Yeah, there's
Bron-
a silent conversation happening.
Ron is gonna come over and like put his hand on his shoulder. You'll find out in due time.
I want to find out now. Like,
They're not gonna be out there forever.
Before he passes.
is it? Wait, are
You're not in the room.
are the two? What's been happening since? Have they
We're
been?
going to pause right there.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to do, and then we're going to come back to that.
And I just wanted to apologize, but it was ever very strange for you. I'm not typically good at these things. So, yeah, just wanted to apologize. And I'm happy to move on to the question if that's what you'd like.
You had a crush on me?
Yeah.
I had no idea. You kept it a well-guarded secret, I suppose.
I think it had something... I think it was something else. I think I don't do that well. So I don't think it came across as... It's Yeah, I don't think it came across. I think it came across different, probably.
Move my bed closer to the door.
So
It just really was pretty hard to tell with Octavia. She's bad with everybody in
Yeah.
a different way
Oh yeah.
than Azra can struggle with relationships. She was
Mhm.
just socially very incredibly awkward. Would have been very hard to tell. But yeah. How does Azra feel about that?
There's two different avenues. I'm trying to decide which one.
Okay, we can continue for a second. Like,
Yeah, no, I think I'm good. Yeah. Thank you for apologizing, but I don't think it was necessary. Yes, I wouldn't have known until you just told me right now. So.
well, that's unfortunate for me, I think, but great for you. Great. Good.
outside the door, cast invisibility.
Good. Would you like to move on to the question?
Is it related? Or is this a
Not
hard pivot?
remotely.
Okay. I have a question. Is this a past tense question?
I think we'll see in the next couple of days, but it seems to be mostly past tense.
Okay, good.
I have moved on in a substantial way. Yep, that's it.
Okay. Well,
I think so.
I guess I would need to say I don't see that happening.
Okay.
So especially given quite recent events that I may get to when we have, I guess, a meeting or whatever.
Are you 100% sure that we're going to have a meeting?
There needs to be a meeting.
Why?
Well, that's what the meeting will be about.
Okay.
I think Octavia probably does know when Azra says, I don't see that happening, how, like, if you want, you don't have to. But she can have a moment, like, when Azra says that I don't see it happening, then I feel like Octavia knows whether that crush is still
Yeah.
present.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, cool.
It's like Sam and Diane, somewhere in a Cheers shirt. If you want to get a reference. No one watched Cheers.
Nope,
Okay.
sorry.
I watched
I-
some Cheers.
Was Sam the...
Bartender, owner.
Yeah.
What's his face?
Ted...
Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Shelley Long.
He was in Fargo season 2.
Fantastic.
No, but continue on with this.
Yeah.
He was also
No, back
in
to
The
this.
Good Place.
There needs to be business.
Oh, there's going to be business.
Okay. Is it dire? Is it urgent?
It is both.
Okay. Understood.
You guys, what are you guys doing?
I'm looking for someone to like drop food in my mouth, probably.
I will motion to Brana to keep him from trying to get off the bed to come eavesdrop, and then come eavesdrop
Oh, no, there's no
myself,
I don't get a
just to
choice.
see if they've moved on from the awkward part that I walked up on.
I think
To
they
distract.
have moved on.
Okay.
To distract him, I am dropping food in his mouth.
Like grapes, just
Yeah, just like,
Just like whole shanks of
You're
meat.
old
Just,
Renaissance baby.
Yeah.
well, like Alabroth will
oh,
start
probably
talking.
not that glorious.
Alabroth starts talking about like wanting to go to the door. It's like, nope, food.
And then I'll listen and I'm like, okay, the weird part's done.
Oh, good.
Were I not so tired right now, I'd find this humiliating, but keep it coming.
I have been
This-
so tired that chewing feels like a major effort. It
This would
sucks.
be deeply embarrassing for you in most cases.
I've done a couple of things today that are deeply embarrassing. This is in no way amounting to that.
Have a turkey leg.
Bones and all.
What a button.
Yeah, it's. I was like, nope, not gonna let him stew on that turkey leg.
Yeah.
The food helps.
I think you feel like a little bit of strength. You guys went out there pretty early, so you can turn in whenever you want, but you're also not necessarily exhausted to need to sleep right now. Do you guys come back in?
No,
Or do
we
you-
still have a
okay.
an unrelated question.
Yes. And yeah, you want it now?
Your nose bleeding?
No, sorry, that was Cass. I have a little bit of water still.
Yeah,
still
yeah.
on it. Yeah. Question?
Yes.
What was that thing that you vomited up on the ship? This was a while ago. It was like a giant eyeball made of darkness and nightmares.
Oh, the Beholderkin.
Oh,
Yes, you've heard of Beholders before?
yes.
Yes, sort of.
Shit was wild.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, roll. You can roll history or arcana with advantage, but it's a pretty high DC to know more than the absolute basics.
History. 17.
If it was 17, you have heard of them, and you know they have special weird magic.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yes, something. I've heard of them.
Yes, so it's as part of academy training, we learn how to conjure different creatures that can aid us in a scuff. And
Through your mouth?
well, there's different methods by which conjuration can occur.
Choose for it to be through your mouth.
It's faster. It's a little bit faster.
It's faster to do through your mouth.
Yes.
Okay, I've heard that.
Worst explanation.
Yeah. Because there's a sort of God, this is going to sound so gross saying it, but there's a sort of gestation period that is required. The way that normally you would take two different mixtures, two different solvents, and you would mix them together, and then you'd have to wait and you'd shake up the bottle.
This grew in you?
You could say that. That's a gross way to say it.
I really wish this one was taking place in the room.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You're making it sound so gross.
Okay. I just, is it?
It's very normal.
It's not a problem at all?
I'm not sick with anything. No.
Okay, cool.
No, I for all intents and purposes, I just cast a spell.
Okay.
It is really gross to have life growing inside you, right?
It's disgusting. I just wanted to check in.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
cool. You wanna go back in?
Now that everything's cleaned up, sure.
Alright, come back in. Octavia's still pretty red, but
Food. Drop.
that's so
It's a little
much
gross.
noise.
Yeah, yeah, bones and all, just like.
Isn't that the cannibalism movie?
I think so.
Hey.
I was just thinking about
Don't
it.
judge it. Don't judge Albaroth and how.
Last
I'm
one, last
judging
one.
Timothée Chalamet.
Or, I'm
Oh,
done. He does like the
Something bones.
not doing that again.
Bones and all, yeah.
Yeah,
Much
it's like,
Into his
I didn't really see myself ending today like feeding somebody.
No.
did not expect that to be the gross part of the day. Don't like being that close.
It is
It
greatly
wasn't the
appreciated.
part of the day.
I am glad I could help you, but I never want to do that again.
I never want it to happen again. What? And not in such dire straits.
Alright.
How is everyone?
Well,
I'm less hungry now that I've listened to you gobble down food.
It's so
Nothing
sad I
I've
missed
heard
that.
before.
I know it just seems louder because it's quiet.
Maybe it's because of the horizontal nature of the eating. You know, normally I'm much more vertical when devouring food.
I think that's what makes the sound a little
Probably.
grosser.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the digestion's going to go a lot slower if you're eating while.
Oh, then
laying
I'll just
down.
eat again.
You hear a knock at the door.
What?
I can't get it if anyone.
You open it, and Pebbles is standing right there. And he's like, "Hi, can I come
The
in?"
dwarf for Pebbles.
Absolutely. Come on in.
He walks in, and he's like a pretty self-assured little kid normally. He has grown quite a bit. But as he stands there, he like kind of stares at his fingers for a second. And kind of takes one of his legs and rubs it up against his other calf behind him. And he's like looking down at the floor. He's like, I have to go back to bed because I'm so tired. But I'm not tired right now. But thank you guys. My daddy's back. And like, my daddy's back.
Albaroth instantly breaks out into tears.
He, like, gives Ronnie a hug. The first time, he's holding him, but the first time that Alabroth makes a noise, he just walks over and, like, lays beside him, holds him as much as he
Oh no,
can.
I'm gonna find the strength. I try to hug this child back.
Yeah, you can definitely hug him back. Like, I think you're maybe struggling to, like, sit up and, like, get up.
And like
he
not
just
put the
comes
full weight of my arm on him either. Like
Yeah, he comes and sits beside you and he sobs into your chest for a couple minutes.
yeah, Alabroth's full on. Like, just can't.
And after a minute, he sits up and he's like, "These are happy. Like, I'm really happy. Like, I need to go to bed, but I wanted to say thank you. I didn't know that could happen." And he's really tired, my dad, so I think maybe you're probably pretty tired too. I will draw all the pictures and you can stay here as long as you want.
Alabroth finds some strength to like reach underneath his cloak, and he's like, I still have the other one. It was very good. He just kind of takes it and just puts it back. He keeps it close to his heart.
Yeah, like yeah, I have to go to bed. I'm just so like, and he hugs the four of you, and then he gets close to Azra, and he's like, and he shakes your hand, and he goes, "It's important to just make sure everybody's comfortable with stuff like that. Anyway, good night. I'll see you tomorrow." And like just scuttles out of the room, and you guys are just the five of you again.
That child has a very developed sense of sort of social boundaries. Good for him.
First time I've felt something in a little while.
Sweet kid.
To clarify, since we separated, I've been having issues with how I felt.
We're gonna take a break right there.
Oh!
Oh. Feelings break.
I was trying to figure out whether you're gonna get into it tonight or tomorrow, like,
Oh, yeah.
because that's probably gonna be the bulk of the rest of the stuff. We'll be back in a few.
you
figured it out.
We're back.
Hey, we did it!
We're back. Good
We're
job.
back. We missed you guys so much.
I didn't cycle through 3 different transitions at all. Nope.
And nobody saw it happen, so
Nobody
it
saw
didn't happen.
anything.
So you come back, and we're going to start kick right back off with Albroth.
You know, Alabraw's probably just like still crying after the whole Pebbles thing, and he just kind of just blurts out, "I'm sorry.
Pebbles still in the ring.
Can't really get
No,
anything
what?
else." Honestly, he's probably upset at this point. He can't get anything else out.
Ron will pull
He's
out,
just
like,
saying,
a little,
"I'm sorry."
Ron will pull out a handkerchief out from his little side pouch and just like dab his face.
I thought that the only thing that would matter was killing that thing. And in the moment when he died, I still felt empty. That's why I screamed. I didn't feel anything. I thought this was all I wanted. This was everything. This is what my purpose was to defeat this thing, and it gave me nothing. The only joy I felt was seeing the family reunited and realizing how much I missed mine.
Oh.
That's the only thing. It finally felt like that weight was off of me. And just knowing that you all were there again.
That's always what it's been about.
I thought I knew what defined me, and I let hate define me. And I'm ashamed of that. And I'm sorry.
I can't speak for everyone, but I forgive you.
Thank you. Thank you. If I didn't say it, it is good to see you all again. All of us here.
I want to ask what Ronnie's feeling in this moment, having been there.
He's hanging on to some anger
It's fair.
because he came back first.
And Alabroth's probably been a bit indifferent during that time.
I would imagine that it's definitely like a marked change that you see.
Because you've been there, so.
Yeah. From the and I don't know, it's up to you to decide how much Ronnie felt that distance and formality even while they were hanging out. And this is an Albroth that you remember, emotionally more present. So, but yeah. And
What is it that you actually feel guilty of? I mean, you've resolved a great injustice in a way that not many people can say. You've actually, at least partially, undone the harm that the changeling did, and you've rid the world of the blight of the changeling. You've accomplished so much today. What is there to grieve?
That I chose to self-orphan myself from those I felt closest to.
Hmm.
While the majority of you were absent, Ronnie's always been there, and I took that for granted too. I took all of you for granted.
all of you definitely realize at this point that Alabroth has sending. If it hadn't hit you before, it hits you now. And it's up to you if it really hits Alabroth that he would have had to be the one to reach out, some of them didn't have the magic to reach out to Alabroth. Just to twist the knife a little.
I made this decision, and I made a mistake. I don't expect any of you to, you're all your own people. And I don't feel right asking for forgiveness either.
Trust me, Elizabeth, I understand isolating yourself.
It was selfish. I've been selfish. I've been a bit of an ass.
I think Ronnie.
Especially to others. Yeah, I do look at Ronnie, especially to others. Others who went out of their way. But I am sorry to all of you. I just do feel that I didn't want to resurrect Rock because I felt he was still in danger, but I've just felt like I was defeated, and it was the only thing that I had left that I could do. I can cast the spell, but I can't ensure he would be safe, which is why I didn't bring him back before now. I learned the spell a while ago. And I just couldn't cast it because I didn't know if he would be safe or not. That's why I avoided it for a while.
What dumb luck that the changeling fell into our laps for us to slay him. Just at the moment that we needed him dead.
Roll. Hey.
Yeah.
Plot.
Roll a
Yeah, like, that's what I need is like a.
I was going to comment on that. And it's like,
I guess it's insight, but there's. Yeah.
On a dead man.
but even now,
Oh. Yeah.
Now
still
doesn't
roll.
now doesn't feel like the right time to bring up the
Yeah. No,
But
I
even-
know.
pearls again.
That is a 16 plus 6, 22.
I think with the 22, what Azra feels is that the changeling, if he in fact was speaking the truth and being kicked out from his group or whatever, that that he was scrying to figure out, you may not know on whom, but trying to figure out when you guys were together. And showed up with a group on purpose. Now, you might not know the precise time of how he knew where, if he was in the area anyway or whatever. But, like, apparently there was a very specific revenge factor. And you feel like you probably waited till you guys were together again. Just
Then it'll make
overconfident.
sense. Yeah. It's still lucky that he underestimated us.
and with that, it doesn't. Did it happen? Did we kill him? Is it real?
Oh, hi.
Octavia, did you finish him? Are we sure? It just doesn't feel right.
I really don't understand the question.
Is he? To me, it doesn't.
Punched him in the face a lot.
Bronna, isn't the changeling soul like in a gem or something on your person?
Oh, aye. He pulls out.
Is it him?
He pulls out a little black pearl. Oh yes.
Is it labeled?
It is the soul of the person that you killed.
Yeah.
I think that's all you know for sure. But we talked about before, it had been brought up in the group that changelings, most creatures would revert in death to their form. And at the very least, you knew all the way dead still looked like that.
So why? Why did it all happen like this?
Can you rephrase?
There were no spells of illusion or anything on that he was holding on himself.
When we killed him, it was his form.
And you had read before that changelings and most creatures, if they have an illusion spell, revert to themselves as they really look when they die. And he had not significantly shifted in any kind of appearances. He looks a little more shriveled after.
Well, and while Azra may not have seen the changeling in his like regular form, we have.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Azra would have the lore that very specifically changelings revert to their appearance, their natural appearance when they die. Illusion spells
Yeah.
would be different, like if they're cast every day or if they're permanent or somebody else casts it on you.
Yeah.
But changelings forms revert.
So changelings have a base form that is, for all intents and purposes, a normal looking person.
It's not normal looking. It's a
No.
white.
Looks like a
Very
changeling.
white skin,
Oh, okay.
black sclera eyes, but this particular
Oh, okay.
changeling, unless he was masked for a specific purpose, did hold his form.
Okay.
Like, just didn't live in a mask like
Eli.
other changelings may do.
It's a cat.
It's Eli, the black.
Yeah.
Wait, that didn't sound right.
Hi.
The black.
If we want to find out what was going on, we can.
Also, when did you learn that?
Well, a little bit before we split up, actually.
Ah, that's just the soul of it in there.
Aye, it's the soul of the changeling. I also have his little minion here too.
That's cute.
Can we talk to him?
Aye, until I break this, his soul is stuck here.
Is he in some sort of limbo? Not fully alive or dead?
Oh, I mean, his soul is, yeah.
Can it escape?
No.
That is
He seems a
is
little bit
deliciously
too
evil.
proud about that.
That was incredibly odd to witness. I saw it several times when we were hanging out.
I will say, I don't think, and this is up to you, but I don't think Brana is entirely comfortable with this.
Yeah, he's proud of it just because it's the
no,
changeling,
totally. But like, there just is an urgency a little bit in Brana.
How are we
Very anti.
able to talk to it?
All right, so I can break this, and we can talk to his soul. We get one question.
And then
One.
and then what happens to it?
It goes wherever his soul would go after death, to his afterlife.
So presumably to some kind of.
Maybe
Astral
Not
plane.
nice place.
just
Yeah.
the thought that leave it in there.
Poetic
Well, we can
justice,
ask it a
torture,
question.
hell.
We can get answers. We could also ask his minion. We have
Maybe start
empathy.
with the minion. Leave him in there.
Before we go interrogating the souls of these things, there's something that I need to tell all of you, and it could change the nature of the question that we ask the changeling.
All right.
Business.
What?
Business.
Okay.
How do I even start this?
From the beginning.
It's a good place to start.
It's going to be a real long session.
It's not the worst place to start. Yeah. Thank you, Ronnie. So, before I met any of you, you all know I was 4 times a student at the academy in Strassus. I studied a lot with Ori, my boyfriend at the time.
Chap that was in the vault?
Yes, yes. You all met him. He was one of those captured by the Oblex.
That's why they had a weird vibe.
There's-
Rory's like, oh yeah, because you remember. You're like, oh, Hazra has a hot friend. I don't know if he felt that. He was like, oh, lovely.
You may have. It was.
I'm like, oh, he's handsome. There's a weird vibe there.
Yeah. We'll get to the weird vibe in a moment.
All of you look alike to me.
You know, I think one of the first things that Azra said around you was when they went up to the hotel outside the school, and there was a dragon board there, and she was like, "Oh, he's one of the good ones, though."
Not a problem. Sacred flame.
Yeah, that was early.
Go on, sorry.
Yes, so we together, we had a sort of a pet project that we were pursuing. We had learned of a sort of ancient library that predated the Sanitatum, that had been lost. No one could find it. It seemed like it was purposely hidden such that only people who already knew about it could have been able to find it, and since everybody that could read and write basically had disappeared with the Sanitatum, then no one with its knowledge of its location was left. So there was a bit where I got caught cheating. Ori and I got into. You've heard that, right?
Cheating or cheating? Cheating.
School academic
Academically.
cheating. Yes, yes.
Let's just do more contact then.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I understand the confusion.
That bitch was awkward. Anyway.
I was cheating on tests at school,
For sure.
and I was being dispelled. And
Dispelled?
Expelled.
expelled. That's right. At wizard school, we call it
Because
dispelling.
they're a wizard. Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Dispelled from the academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, your magic is strict.
It's like you're not a warlock. Anyway.
Yeah, I was being expelled. And Ori and I got into a fight about it, and he sort of bragged that he had found this library without me, and he was going to go read all of the books without me, and I couldn't take that, so I tried to rip the knowledge out of his mind before I left. That's actually why I have this. They don't mark you for life for cheating on tests at school, but yeah. So then y'all found me. We went and we fought the Oblex, and while it's a bit of an admission, it worked out. But while you were asking me to find the memory of the location of the king, I took a little detour in the Oblex's mind. The Oblex had somebody who knew the location of the Shimmering Hall, and I was able to take that memory for myself. This ended up leading us, almost purely by accident, to the Bitch's Light. We crossed paths with it while we were on the ship with Nimbo. Turns out the Bitch's Light is the Shimmering Hall, the library. It exists under the water, surrounded by aboleths that are, I suppose, drawn to its power and act as a naturally occurring defense, one of the many layers of trying to get through there. After we all split up, after the White Dragon fight, I ended up investigating the hall with Ori and with Nimbo, and we got to basically the final barrier, but it required a password. So we were kind of shit out of luck, because anybody who would have known the password would have gone with the Sanitatum, it would seem. But while we were revisiting Strassus, sort of thinking of what to do, where to go from there, I received a anonymous tip. Someone gave me the password. Something that nobody in this world should know, really.
Do you know who gave you such knowledge?
I do. I found out, of course, after I used it. We'll get to that. So, I went back to the Shimmering Hall, and I was able to get in. I did not share the password with Ori or Nimbo. I was just being a bitch, honestly. And I went into the Shimmering Hall alone. Do I tell you? So yeah, I learned a lot in the Sherman Hall. We'll get to that in a moment. When I left, though, I was very curious about who gave me this password. I was able to find them again. They were sort of waiting for me to return. Ends up it was a strange group called, they call themselves the Enlightened.
Everybody roll history, these four.
Okay.
Because this is a word they have heard, but not in your presence.
Oh, okay.
What?
18.
What check?
History, not with advantage.
No.
This one.
22.
This makes sense. The two of you flash back when the white dragon was talking to the changeling and you were overhearing it. And the dragon was mocking the changeling for not having the standing he thought he was trying to say within his organization.
Okay.
That was the Enlightenment, is what he...
Okay. That's what the dragon said?
It's what... the dragon just saw right through the changeling.
Okay.
He might have
Thanks.
said it. I don't
Troublesome.
recall who said it,
Okay.
but whatever it was didn't seem to be a point of contention. Either the changeling said it or the dragon knew it and said it to him.
Okay.
But we know.
The two of you recall that that was a word you'd heard in connection with the changeling.
Okay.
And if you guys have instant big reactions, you're going to do. Okay. So as soon as you say that,
Brana's been kind of like sitting like this the whole time, so he's just like,
Somehow Albrook
Very
like
simple.
finds it, kind of like leans like towards you, like, and then.
Well, I got to speaking with them, this enlightened group. I guess I should tell you what I found in the library. So the enlightened believe that there is a global threat that is imminent. Based on what I learned in the library, I have reason to believe that they're right. So I joined the Enlightened for several months. The reason why this is pertinent to us speaking with the Changeling Soul is because the Changeling is one of the Enlightened. The people I spoke to told me that the Changeling was sort of a rogue agent, that it had defected, or they disavowed all actions the Changeling had taken. And since I believe there's some veracity to the threat that they believe in, I felt that I needed to help them so that we could overcome this. However, I found out as recently as last night, I don't know how disavowed the Changeling really was. These people I thought were sort of... I knew that they were illicit, manipulators, that sort of thing. But I didn't think of them as terrorists, and they told me they weren't. I have reason to believe they are. I found Ori's name on a hit list. For reasons I haven't even divined myself yet. But I don't know what else they've been lying about to me. So, in the dead of night, I took Ori with me, and I left him in the Shimmering Hall for safekeeping, because it's the one place I know they can't get to.
Do you have an inkling of what their plan might be?
I do. Yes, Ronnie?
Why do you think that they can't get in if they gave you the password?
If they had the password and could have gotten in, they could have done that at any point. They gave me the password because for some reason they can't bypass its other barriers that I could.
They told you this?
They told me this, and I see no reason to doubt them. Otherwise, why would they need my assistance? They could have gone in themselves.
I think we need to get to what you learned.
Yes.
Do you know? You may just be choosing not to reveal, but there's a way that you're pretty certain that it was just you, that they couldn't get in there, based on your first arrival.
I mean, I know that there's. Yeah,
But you were the first one there.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Like, so you could message me if you want to get more specific, because there might be something I'm overlooking. But
You know that you were the first one in, or you're almost 100% confident that no one else had been in there at all
yeah,
since.
yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all.
But if they had the password, they could have been there before me, but there's also several different layers of protection.
No, that you're pretty sure you're the first one in. I'm gonna message you. Sorry. Go on.
Okay, sure.
Where's and where's Nimbo?
I don't know. I could check on him at the academy, but
He did not join you with the Enlightened. You said you
It was
Ori
me.
and Nimbo went to Shimmering Hole, and then you joined the Enlightened, but Nimbo didn't join the Enlightened?
I didn't let them in. They weren't. Ori and Nimbo weren't speaking to me after
Because
I went in, because I didn't bring them in with me.
But Ori did join the Enlightened with you?
No.
No,
No.
just you. Okay.
That's why I'm still trying to piece together why his name is on a hit list, why they're trying to kill him. But it's a different thing to investigate. So, the sort of the threat that the Enlightened and I believe, based on what I learned in the Shimmering Hall, we've found a pretty definitive answer to the reason behind the sanitatum. We know what happened. There was a message left in the Shimmering Hall of the people who built it, who had predicted that the sanitatum would happen, and I don't see why they would be wrong, seeing as it did in fact come true. Funnily enough, the sanitatum is actually the wrong name for it. We don't actually have a name for what went wrong. Over, I guess, about 400 years ago now, the old world had decided that the gods had outlived their purpose, that they didn't contribute anything other than mess things up. And so they decided that the world would be better if nobody was faithful to the gods, if nobody believed in them. And at this point they were nearing a global consensus on that. Pretty much all cultures around the globe believe the same thing. So to sort of put the final nail in the coffin, they started a grand global celebration that they called the Sanitatum, which would basically be a process by which everybody, consenting or no, would have faith modified out of their memory. That all belief in all gods would be stripped from all peoples. What they didn't know, which I guess will be possibly news to everybody here, is that the gods would die if that happened. It appears the gods only exist because of faith. That's where they derive their power from. If nobody believed, they would... Of course, the gods knew this was coming, and they didn't want to disappear, so they figured they would simply do as close to a reset as they could on humanity, hoping that when we grew back up, we wouldn't make the same mistake that our ancestors did.
Bronna, you're having difficulty
Yeah.
here.
Alabro's having
Yeah.
difficulty with this.
Like, I feel like you have two very, but yeah, definitely the most severe. I want you to roll an insight check. And Alabroth, roll a religion check.
Oh no!
Yeah. At disadvantage because you're exhausted.
And because your faith is shaken, maybe.
So insight.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
rolled a
boy.
nat 20, so with my bonus, that is a 33.
As this is playing out, like, it's not in specific words, but what is being screamed in your head is, this is what I've been trying, I haven't, this is, and you,
Hi, Eli.
you have had a very interesting journey with repelling or inviting the communication here.
Yeah.
I need you to decide, do you try and attune kind of to this,
Yeah.
knowing that the
Oh, knowing?
gods might have been responsible for humanity?
When you say attune, like listen to what, like attune to listen to what they're saying?
Are you
or-
trying to, like, are you trying to stay connected to them, or, and like, calm them by like inviting, feeling whole, being one, or you reject it for a minute, like, get out, just for a minute right now? Are you trying to say, shut up, I'm listening?
Because he can still hear, he's letting them talk. He remembers what it was like to tell him to shut up last time and he didn't like it.
With your nat 20 insight,
Yeah.
if the gods know about this conversation, like, you don't know what your person will tell, your celestial will tell Kalimbar.
He also doesn't know what their connection is with Kelimvor still.
Yeah.
He thinks his knowledge of it, and as he understands it, is they're not close enough to him to get a lot unless he wants them to do something, or wants him, Brana, to do something, which hasn't happened.
Okay.
So he thinks they're like assistants to the people, or assistants to the people that like talk to,
Yeah, which seems like entirely reasonable.
like bottom rung.
I think it's just like, do you... Basically, it's like you choose whether they can read your mind and hear everything you're hearing or not. And you're comfortable at the moment with them staying there.
He's chill with them staying here at the moment. If the conversation gets deeper about the gods doing a reset, like if we go deeper into that conversation, he will try to like quiet it so he can like have a private think session later with them.
Okay.
And be like, I need answers on this
Yeah,
stuff.
there's some stuff.
There's some stuff and things, but like right now, because that knowledge is out now, so
Yeah.
they know regardless.
Albroth, what's your religion?
Total was an 11.
That's better. That would be good.
The first one was really good, and then the second one, not so much.
With an 11, I think what you do know, and like your brain struggles to try and keep up with this, but you do know
Shook?
that, yeah, definitely, 100%. But you do think about, just kind of as a flash in your head, the good gods tend to require you to live a certain way, to be a certain kind of good person. And so they tend to have smaller followings than the gods that tell you to do whatever you want. And whereas what Azra is saying is kind of like blasphemous in some ways. You're also aware that like the true believers in gods of justice, those are going to die out first. The world is unjust. It's hard.
Alabroth
They
would
have
probably
smaller
go so far
followings.
as like kind of be like, nah.
This is exactly how you would hear. It would be a lot to try and even take in.
Maybe,
Watching people die is
well? Isn't it like all adults or something?
Or-
Yes, all. Well, I don't know about die, but all people that could read and write were.
Gone.
Slaughtered.
Disappeared.
I mean, there were no remains. Doesn't seem there was any bloodshed. There's no historical account of a great war. Simply a disappearance.
What was the whole purpose of finding this place? Why?
For me, finding the Shimmering Hole.
Well, for you, it would be a big shiny thing that you could possess. But what is their purpose for it?
The Enlightened, you mean?
Yes. They used you.
My understanding is that they've been having a bit of a crisis of faith within their ranks. They aren't sure.
Ironic.
Ironic, yes. Some people will be getting, I think perhaps even the Changeling, will be beginning to question the sort of base premise of the Enlightened, and they wanted me to, because they can't gain access to the library themselves because of its additional protections, they wanted me to go in there and confirm, find some hard evidence that they're right about this whole thing. I believe they are.
I have a question.
Hmm.
What are their goals, the Enlightened?
They believe that religion is beginning to die out. They believe that there's a trend back towards the conditions that made the gods do what they did. So they're basically trying to covertly repopulate religion.
But they didn't know that that was the cause of the sanitatum until,
They
6 months ago?
they felt that it was, but because there were disagreements, they wanted me to find more proof.
Your thing is recent, I will say. Recent. The knowledge you have is a recent thing that you heard on the lines. You weren't in the country when that happened. You heard it while you were by the border, that had happened, just so you know. Yeah.
The Enlightened had formed?
No, what you heard
In your-
about
in your
your country's culture.
Yeah.
That was a pretty recent thing, just so
Yeah.
you're aware.
Okay, no way.
Yeah.
My understanding, and she glances at Octavia, was that the Enlightened has basically been around since just after the Sanitatum, almost immediately, because it was founded by a Kalishtar that was not taken because none of the Kalishtar were in the Sanitatum. I'm still a bit fuzzy on exactly why, but the founding member of the Enlightened is actually somebody who predated the Sanitatum and still lived, and they've been trying to steer humanity away from the same conditions so that it wouldn't happen again. I don't even know. I believe this Kalishtar has passed at this point, at least as far as I
There's
know.
no verification mechanism, but yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And so with some people beginning to doubt the founder of the Enlightened, they were looking for something more than their word. They'd sort of been persisting through the dogma of this Kalishtar for the past few hundred years, it would seem. Did I get a name? I don't think I did.
We will say you did, I do have it in my notes.
Okay.
You got, you didn't get a physical description, but they were free to share the name, and they did.
Hmm.
It wasn't a name that you recognize.
Okay.
If you give me a minute, move on.
Okay.
Give me a second.
I share the name, and it doesn't appear to.
It's not.
There's
Ember's
only
name.
one name that I would be very upset if it was
Yeah.
started the Enlightened.
And her name was Ember.
Yeah.
It's a name nobody at the table is familiar with.
It's Topher. Can't trust Tophers.
You can't
Never trust a
Topers,
Topher.
that's
No, you
true.
can't.
Yeah.
Chad.
So they're trying to foster a return towards religious faith with acts of terrorism?
I mean, that's the thing, is that I think one of the things that, I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if the Changeling really was a rogue agent, but my understanding 2 days ago was that the Changeling had a more extreme belief that not only was the founding Kalistar perhaps not to be trusted, I think there were some accusations that the Kalistar actually may have provoked the Sanitatum to happen so that they would have this power post-Sanitatum, something along those lines. But in addition, the Changeling held the belief that modern civilization and religion are sort of at odds with each other, that the more we develop as a people, the less religious we become. And so these sort of acts of terrorism meant intentionally just to destabilize civilization so that we stop evolving beyond our need of religion.
That's not how any of this works. No, not Mike. My God allows me to do. I was allowed to bring Brock back. That's not how any of this works.
You just performed the most incredible miracle that has happened probably on this entire world in 200 years.
350.
350 years.
It's,
How is that not directly in the... That is their plan.
no, it's my choice to follow it. It's not like that. It's not.
And who, when they hear that a god brought back somebody who's been dead for over a year, who is not going to believe in that god?
I would not have been allowed to do any of the things that I've done without my faith.
I'm actually not against the gods. I don't particularly... I have
You're
a
not?
I'm not against them. I don't follow my country. I'm not outlawing clerics and all of
You have
that
something
sort
on
of
your
thing.
Oh, yeah, you?
There you go.
Oh, well,
I don't know what that was. Anyway.
And as far as I know, Kestrel Dawn isn't against the gods. That's Vader, right?
I think like you would know that Kestrel Dawn is like a think tank.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they're against them. It's that
We don't need them. Yeah. I'm not against them. That it's not part of my order. Vaya has outlawed clerics that worship deities.
But I'm not forced to do anything. It's my choice to do so. So that's not how any of this works. It's just.
But the whole thing is manipulation.
He's gonna shut off.
it's good.
Yeah,
call.
he's gonna shut off right here.
I
Or
don't think
shut off the link right there.
it's more political machinations. It's installing different sort of religious leaders in order to maximize sort of their popularity, their effectiveness, their proselytizing.
Have you heard Alabroth's name at any point?
I mean, that's to you.
I mean, have I heard it in
Has the
relation
Enlightened
to the
mentioned
Enlightened?
Oh,
Mentioned
has the
it.
Enlightened mentioned
Alabroth. He just performed a ridiculously awesome miracle. Was that
Alabroth's been very under the radar.
No.
Was that maybe just the Changeling's plan?
No.
Then why would he attack us right when we're about to do it?
It doesn't have to do with actually working miracles. It just has to do with faith. You can get people to believe.
But that's not how faith works.
The best way to boost faith.
Can I ask a question?
Maybe he didn't know what Alabroth was doing.
Was I part of that?
Brun, I will say something that's interesting that happened when you shut off. Since you've been growing more and more like connected to them, you haven't tried in forever. You didn't maybe even know that you could do that, but when you're like, nope,
Yeah.
you eject this communion, and like you know it's still there. It's like they're knocking at a door in the back. They cannot hear. And like I think it's a weird moment for Brana. You
Yeah.
control how communed you are with this thing in a way that you always wanted and never had. But yeah, what?
He'll unpack that later.
I don't have time for this right now.
Bron is basically leading a order.
So how Aasimar are born is the gods choose a child before they are born and bestow upon them power. I was directly chosen by Kellumbor.
A blessing.
But does that mean I'm part of... Was I chosen and I was a target because I am an embodiment of the gods?
Did I hear anything about Brana through the Enlightened?
He's hoping no.
I mean, roll a check for, roll a straight
Luck or investigation?
investigation. Roll an investigation check, and it's gonna be a blanket for both.
Yeah.
That's a 7.
Albert's having a little bit of a crisis.
Like, you haven't heard a lot of things that they've talked about. But like, if you're just guessing, like, you would guess that the name, that Ori, if you saw a list and Ori was on there, that they'd be roughly the same level, because they're the same level as you, and growing and doing things, and they weren't on that list, and you never heard them mentioned. Nor have the people you've spoken with professed any kind of interest in anybody else.
Your name hasn't come up, but it's the nature of the Enlightened. It's the design of their organization to split apart knowledge among its ranks as much as it can. They're trying not to be caught, essentially. And so there's a chance that they have you in their sights, and I just wasn't aware of it. The fact that I was aware of Ori's by a failure of that organization, I was able to know something I shouldn't have by their design. I can't know all of the things that they successfully kept from me.
How long ago did you join them?
It's been several months. Do we have a hard number, or several months ago?
I think about, like, I think we decided it was about 4 months ago,
And when did I hear that Bayer had?
last week.
So, yeah, Bayer, recently, I had last week, probably not more than a month ago, but outlawed deity-based, patron-based clerics, so, which seems to be a very anti-god.
No,
An entire country?
Clerics,
No, I'm of no
paladin, like
threat.
any specific deity-based, like, channeling of power. But it's hard to say, like, official churches, all that.
Very.
I'm no threat. I do all my things through. My God has always been there for me. I've been an ardent follower. I've done nothing.
Follower, they don't necessarily always like. They let the Kestrel Dawn operate.
And they know, they don't have a problem with the people having private beliefs, at least not outwardly, not right now. And you would know this because it's an environment that you always grew up in. It was just like, don't maybe like make your thing their thing. It's not you couldn't believe it, but maybe don't like.
Yeah,
I just
you're very-
proselytizing.
You're very.
I'm not being manipulated. No, I'm not. If without my faith, neither one of you would be.
Listen to your God, though. You.
And he listens to
you
me.
show miracles and you do things. I'm not against it, but it seems very much in their plans.
Why am I being watched? I've been faithful.
I didn't hear your name.
You
Oh,
were. You were.
I thought you said.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought you
no.
said that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, our names have not come up.
Never mind.
You were not sent here, correct?
No, as far as I know, they're probably hunting me now.
You're in danger.
I just left an organization that has enacted acts of terrorism across the world.
And thwarted a plan they had, probably.
I mean, technically, there's a cult that's on site for me.
And yet you still answered me.
I was going to seek you out anyway, Alabroth. I need you. Because the threat of the gods is real. I have to believe that there's a different way than what the Enlightened is doing to try and solve this.
There is. That's very obvious.
What, we all become clerics?
No.
I like that idea.
Everyone multi-classing cleric for the final 3 levels. Let's go.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna be a cleric.
You guys have no
of
choice. You're all
Tiamat.
reading.
what did Joe Cap the Amen?
Yeah.
Amen.
All right.
Okay, so regardless of whether or not gods need the faith of people, they demonstrate and bestow real power. So there is no point in quibbling over whether or not they're real just because, of how they become more or less real. They are. We've seen it.
I mean, that's not what's in. Everyone knows that the gods exist.
Of course they do.
The state of the world pre-Sanitatum was that the gods had
To my
outlived their
understanding,
usefulness,
it was,
that they had become manipulators, and people didn't want to be manipulated by
yeah,
higher
it
beings
was-
anymore.
It was a willful decision to disbelieve in order to make them not real. Yeah?
No, I think this was a mistake that the people made. They didn't know that the gods' lives derived from their faith, from their devotion. And so when they tried to, I don't even think they weren't stripping belief in terms of being convinced that the gods exist. That's not even what the Sanitatum was about. The Sanitatum was simply about getting rid of devotion, about making it so that everybody unanimously agreed that the gods were not worth engaging with any longer.
And there was like a 400-year build-up, which you do know.
Yes, and this had
Said it, yeah.
this had occurred over centuries of civilization changing their mind about whether they wanted the gods or not. What they didn't realize was that if the Sanitatum had succeeded, the gods would have all died. And the people didn't realize that by doing so they were going to provoke a reaction from the gods
Also,
in their own self-defense.
commit genocide.
What is your...
That's how it turned out, yes.
I think something Octavia specifically knows is that other types of clerics exist. And I don't know that the whole table knows that. That you can be a cleric who does not worship a deity.
Yeah.
Sort of an agnostic cleric.
Yeah, with a belief in humanity and the like all of us together teamwork thing, which is what Vader had always encouraged. They're
Yeah.
clerics and Vader. They're just based on we're better together.
Yeah.
Kind of a loose
There's-
altruism.
Yeah, you
The
don't,
oath of civic duty.
you
Yeah.
don't strictly need the gods. You can do a whole sort of kumbaya. Let's get together and do it. You can.
Hungry fella.
All internal, baby.
You can
What?
sort of function that way.
What are your intentions? Even the cat.
Yeah, Ryan's in the middle.
It's that to foster faith does not require the destabilization of society, and it would simply be that you should probably not be outlawing it. People, I mean, not you, but like there.
Yeah. And this is the thing, I think Vair and the Enlightened are at odds with each other. The Enlightened is trying to stop, I mean, it sounds like a Vair has an agenda that is strictly not anti-religion, but anti-deity, which is a threat to the gods.
Which is bad, but causing, like, social upheaval also does not does not mean that you're going to foster faith. It's just violence.
I mean, I don't have study in the way culture works. Wizards are pretty self-absorbed, honestly, with that sort of thing,
Yeah.
with what we studied. But I know the thing I heard from the Enlightened was that people tend to be, socially, religion tends to find its strength in places where there is less structure. There's more believers in the rural edges outside of an area like Strassus than there are people within the city. I mean, how many significant churches are there even in Strassus? Speaking to the DM.
In Strassus, there are...
Let me elevate my words because
Yeah.
Weirdly, I think what exists in Strassus, there's some nice large churches to any god that you worship. Can be worshipped there, but it does seem somewhat relevant. There's not a lot, but the ones that are there, in a subtle way, like whatever your belief is, that's fine. And I don't know if Ezra's ever seen one to just one god, and it makes some sort of sense that they'd be like, no, to all the gods, to whoever the god, well, to us, that there's a natural progression there.
Mm. And if we're right historically about civilization pre-Sanitatum being more advanced than we are today, and we're worried about advancement reducing religiosity, I mean, who's the most advanced country in the world right now? And they just enacted a policy to rid themselves of deific worship. I think that's what the Enlightened are scared of. They're scared of us evolving the same direction that we did before the Sanitatum, and then the event will happen all over again.
I don't think the answer is to bomb there. I think...
Ride the Valkyries. With your advanced knowledge of what is going on, what would you ask the Changeling?
It sort of all, if we only get one question, it kind of all depends on whether the Changeling was actually banished or not. I think, based on what I said though, because I'm sure Octavia caught this, in the heat of combat, I sort of nudged the Changeling. I mentioned one of, I don't even know how high up in the structure that they are.
You mentioned a name.
Draven, yes. One of the people I reported to in the Enlightened. I don't know how high in the structure they are, but I reported to them, and they have some authority, at least in Strassus. I took a guess that the Changeling reported to them similarly, and I warned the Changeling that Draven would not be there to protect them anymore, because I was betting that I was at least right that the Enlightened had disowned the Changeling, and based on the way that it reacted, I think that part at least might be true.
Could this be why he kept escaping us?
What do you
He
mean?
was being helped? He was being assisted? Because it seemed like every time we got he just somehow got away from us.
I don't know. What is roughly...
I was really
What was at least the narrative that they told me, roughly when would the Changeling have been disavowed?
Well, I think probably...
Would it have been like White Dragon time? Or would it have been
no,
like...
because you weren't they wouldn't reveal almost any details, but whenever Ezra was finally comfortable enough to mention that, which I think would be early because it was they disavowed that. And then there was a follow-up at some point where they said he's out of the organization entirely. So you
Yeah,
think
what
it
was that
has to be
catalyst?
recent. Pretty recent. And this is one of the things we played around with. But like pretty recently they said, no, he's gone. They wouldn't say what happened or when that decision was made. And you don't know if it happened way earlier, but they didn't trust you enough to tell you or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I got the sense that the changeling was probably in the entire time that y'all had been encountering it was probably still among the enlightened. So
Hans Siva is the name of the Kalishtar. Roll me a just flat intelligence actually. Like
how do you spell that?
HANSIVA.
5.
One word.
I'll give you advantage on it. It's kind of related. Yes.
16.
That's a male suffix. That's all you know.
Would Draven have more information, or because
I'm sure
you've
they
got
do.
one shot with the changeling?
Technically, we have 2 because we have his followers, his second in command as well.
Could just been a hired man, but
I don't know.
They were the ones wearing them.
They had those rings,
Yeah, attuned rings.
Okay.
so I guess that they're working closely with enough with each other that we technically have 2 shots.
then Azra should formulate the questions asked. She clearly has more knowledge about this than we do.
Take a note real quick. I mean,
Or
does your sort of soul binding bind them to tell the truth?
Unfortunately, no. They can speak in any language that they know. They can only give us what they knew when they were alive, so they can't give us like any other information if they didn't know it. And there's no way to compel them to tell the truth. They're only compelled to say anything, otherwise they stay in this little bowl forever. No soul wants that.
So we want to ask them something that we think they'll want to tell the truth.
well, don't you hold him passing on to the next world, literally in your hands?
Aye, if I never break this bowl, he stays here forever.
And wouldn't he feel somewhat abandoned by the enlightened? They allowed him to. He would have no loyalty to them.
My God gave me these powers, so God is basically telling them they can't move on.
So this,
I think we
If-
should account for the fact that he's kind of an asshole.
Aye,
So
aye.
we should.
also ostensibly supposedly the changeling was part of the enlightened because they believed in that ideology initially, and there was a falling out. So the changeling probably believes in the story about the sanitatum and how it came about, and may think of themselves as a sort of bloodied hero trying to prevent a second apocalypse. But they were abandoned by the enlightened, and so might have a personal grudge.
And it seems like revenge is pretty
we
important to them.
would
if
need
it
some
show
sort
up.
of manipulation because
This would need to be a very carefully couched question because,
Yeah.
And
regardless of how mad they might be at the organization that ousted them, the changeling's not going to be less mad at us.
I will say there is no time limit on asking this question as long as I have the bead.
Yeah, it doesn't have
So-
to be right now.
It's
Exactly.
labeled so you don't accidentally break it.
Oh, I have to like throw it on the ground to smash it.
Right, but if you have 2, are they identical?
They are technically identical, but I can tell which souls
Just
in
wanna make
which
sure.
one. Don't worry.
Yeah, Brada can hear them screaming at all times,
I
and
can
recognizes the voices.
I can look inside and tell by the little little glittery swirl which one's which. I have a. He pulls out a third one. I have a monster soul in this one.
it like glimmers. I like that.
Yeah, glitters
Monsters
like
have
a-
souls?
They're alive, aren't they?
Oh, that's troubling.
Is that one of the ones we fought?
Yeah. Kept him. Well, I always have one just in
There's
case.
one more thing we can appeal to him. His pride. He did win. Somewhat.
You said
What
you
did he
needed Albroth.
I lost.
I meant everybody.
For what, though? What are you trying to do? You trying to go beat the Enlightened?
I mean,
Yes.
that's a hope. But we can't exactly fight the Enlightened until we have a alternative, because if they're right and it's the only way to move forward, then in theory we need to join them.
They can be right and still not be the only way to move forward.
That's what I'm saying. That if we can't think of an alternative path to the Enlightened, then the best thing to do to prevent the apocalypse is to be the Enlightened, to help them succeed. I'm not going to let them kill Ori, but maybe I can make an arrangement that spares him. Maybe we could become entrusted and powerful enough that we could steer them in a different direction. But I think an alternative is the best. But
I think it's
More
more
than-
likely that we would get roped into being terrorists than that we would steer them in a more moderate direction.
better there be a terrorist organization that prevents an apocalypse than an apocalypse happening, don't you think?
As was
I'm
Has a
not
point.
disagreeing that, like, apocalypse, bad.
Better.
Worst. I think we can accomplish their goals in, like, a peaceful, not killing people sort of way, without actually joining them. I don't think joining them is a good idea, particularly if we already know that that they're planning to kill your friend.
maybe we could get some clarification. There might be something we're getting wrong. Maybe.
You found out the cause of the Senatatum at the Shimmering Hole,
For those that can't hear, Christian's hungry.
but they already knew what had caused it.
Because their founding member appears to have survived it.
What else did you learn in the Shimmering Hole? Anything that could help us?
I suppose so. Lots of wizard shit.
Okay.
It sounds like maybe we should take a little field trip.
To the Shimmering Hole.
Find
Can you
out
get
the
us there? Do magic?
That's one of the things I've learned.
The other things that kill apparently all other wizards except you. Are they? Is that gonna
Don't kill,
get us-
just rebuff.
Okay,
I-
but you. Okay.
Can the Shimmering Hall be teleported into?
No, I have to teleport just outside of it, and then we enter through the one opening.
We can take that.
Opening like a door, opening like a portal, opening like.
It's just a door.
Okay.
Well, just a door.
What?
You sounded like
Suppose,
you
yes.
wanted to say something.
Going to need some new armor. Yeah, then we're getting right back out there.
I feel like Alibroth right now, with all of this new information, the way that the exhaustion does take root within you, is it actually makes you, first of all, more receptive to just hearing stuff. But you feel like the presence of Bahamut was like, okay, good job, you do you. You feel like Bahamut, you have felt his presence very concentrated at some times and very kind of out in the ether at others.
That is true.
And so you felt his presence very powerfully when you cast the spell. And then you felt it depart in a way that seemed very calm, like rest. You did a good thing, just rest. when his presence is there, it's either because you called on him or he's calling on you almost all the time. So I feel like that's how that tiredness manifests. You're not worried that he's not like with you,
No.
but he's not super here right now. One thing you wouldn't know is if everybody experiences faith in interaction with their deity in the same way, because you felt him more powerfully at some times, whereas Brana seems to have kind of a constant connection with something to do with a god, but you're not sure on the specifics because Brana's only learned that.
Yeah, it's not like Bahamut showed up and they're like, kill that heretic. You know, I'm not a paladin.
You don't know if he's listening though. And you don't know if he'd care. But right now you can't process all that.
No, it's very. He's having some. Like,
Yeah,
what?
that's rough, buddy.
Wanted an easy day. I'd love to go. I just need a little bit of rest first.
Of course. I should also mention, for the two of you, you probably won't be able to be in any sort of communication with your gods while within the Shimmering Hall. It's one of the many barriers around it is to prevent the prying eyes of the gods, because it was built as a sanctuary from them.
Would you be okay with that? Because I'm like, well, I don't know.
Bruh, I have no issue with that. I'm just like a little worried about consequences. I've already got my voice is not happy right now. So. I assume I can just hear them screaming. So.
I mean, the one comforting thing that I learned joining the Enlightened is that after I learned the secrets of the Sanitatum, I met with the Enlightened, I was very frightened that simply stepping outside the boundaries of the Shimmering Hall would put me and potentially the world in danger, because if the gods are omniscient, they would know what I had learned, and if I knew that the gods' lives come from faith, I might be stricken down as soon as I was within their sight. So
That's what I would do.
I actually left my memory of what I had learned in the Shimmering Hall. I intentionally forgot that knowledge so that I could leave in safety. However, after meeting with the Enlightened, an entire organization founded upon this suspicion of the gods, it appears the gods are not quite as omniscient as I was concerned they might be. They don't know everything that we all know. I think there's a chance the gods only know what their followers tell them explicitly. So, if you never mention this to your deities, then we're probably still safe. If you do, we might all die immediately.
I will say you've never met a faith-based anything inside the Alliance.
Sure. Which would just make sense. That's such a security leak, such a hazard.
Right, but like I don't know if you know, and I don't know if they know, like if it's the faith in the god that transmits their knowledge, or telling the god that transmits that knowledge.
Well, I just told y'all a lot of stuff,
Find
and
out
we're not
about
dead
20
yet.
Yeah, about
So
20 minutes next time Alabroth prays.
To be fair, I did block the voices, so I don't know how much they know.
I appreciate that.
While I feel conflicted, to be honest, I have nothing but faith in Bahamut and his guidance, but my faith in you are stronger. Is stronger.
Canon, Alabroth is now a cleric of Azra.
Without Bahamut, I would.
New domains trickery, bitches.
Admittedly, without Bahamut, I would still be Alabroth Jarud. And I've learned that without you all, I'm nothing.
I believe in you too, Alabroth.
Well, the turkey's starting to kick in, so. Also the exhaustion.
Has that been your tummy grumbling this entire
Yeah.
time? Digesting the turkey?
and bones and tendons and cartilage and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything but the feathers.
Oh, that's just gross. You wouldn't eat it. Well, maybe you would. Yeah.
It's like looking directly at Alabroth. Like,
Feathers don't go down so easy. Anyway.
It's like celery, like the way that the little it snaps a little
it's
bit.
fiber.
Towards, yeah, it's a
rough-
fiber.
It's roughage.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think they call them ruffled feathers?
Like a feather duster going through your body. Gross. Anyway.
Fun. This is fun.
I think it's time we all got some rest. I think we've gotten a lot of information.
This conversation was the morning, wasn't it?
No, this
No.
was
No.
this
Late
is
at
still
night.
night.
No, this is fucking 2:00 in the morning.
Oh,
Probably-
I thought we went to
Because,
sleep
we
and
were,
then.
because it was
Oh.
already night when we started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
we haven't gone to bed yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is fully the sleepover where everyone is like laying on the floor looking at the ceiling.
That's what I was
sharing,
thinking. Yeah.
Oh,
sharing
wow.
One of us
deep
certainly
thoughts.
is.
Are you still
Yeah.
awake?
Do you think pigeons have feelings?
Hey, are you still awake?
Are you still awake?
Hey.
No.
Or
Do you-
the
have you ever had a dream? Have you ever when you
Yeah.
you know when you had
They're gonna play light as a feather, stiff as a board.
oh my god!
Oh wow.
Wow.
Which I mean, that's when Ronnie just
Deep
cast
cuts.
levitate.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ronnie's already touching you. He just cast levitate.
Guys, it's not working.
Ooh, it's magic.
No.
And then you just let it drop when he notices it.
So I think like Alabroth, almost immediately after you say that, you cannot keep your eyes open any longer. Like you just. a
Yeah, y'all
lot
probably have to
think
like.
about.
Y'all probably believe you have to sneak out of the room. Ain't nothing waking him up.
You might like
Two
start
of us
kind
sleep, I
of
think, automatically.
Yeah.
You
gathering
go armored
your
boots
stuff,
and still get.
like to be quiet, and
Yeah.
then the snoring.
Yeah. I'm like, oh.
Just so loud immediately. You're like, we don't have to do that.
Tommy.
Yeah, I was gonna
Just
say
down the
Ronnie
room.
already knew that he
Yeah,
did not
definitely.
need to be quiet. He
And
could just leave.
The others look at you kind of alarmed, and you're like, no, this is tired Alabroth. This is
He's-
fine.
Yeah.
When have we ever been able to wake
He's
Alabroth?
dead to the
I don't
world.
know, he's not like a heavy sleep. Right now, he's like dead to the world.
Yeah, it's a heavy sleep. Sorry, buddy. You have 4 levels of exhaustion.
No. That's Brock. He has 4 levels of exhaustion. He
For
needs some
flavor, you have 4 levels of exhaustion.
sleep. Okay, I'm sorry. I got DM'd again.
No,
Oh.
this is the same
I'm laughing
DMing.
Oh.
No, but I do think, like, with the 1-2 punch of this, I do think, I'm not going to do the full, but I think you'll have 1 level tomorrow, and then you can slip it off, just to process.
Huh.
I think what is echoing in his head, kind of like, even as he's asleep, is my God is a God of justice.
Yeah.
That's not fair, what happened. And I'm not going to, like, dictate any more than that.
Go ahead and set myself up.
I think probably Brana has dreams that are about like fights that they had with their sister growing up, or just like stupid kind of hurt feelings. And this one's pretty easy to translate. Like, why didn't you tell me? Why did you tell Mom and Dad? For like just replays of moments like that, of the being left out.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe.
I mean, I do let them back in when I go,
Yeah.
go to bed.
I think it's weird for you to know, like, I think that you will feel pretty confident that they don't know what you know from you.
Otherwise, there would be different dreams.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the pouty
Baby
baby
and
dreams.
yeah, roll an insight check to see if you.
Oh,
That's not bad. Mine's so high. 23?
Jesus.
With a 23.
I thought my insight was
Ooh.
good.
Ooh.
I have a 13.
Yeah, I got an 11.
With a 23, I think Brana understands for maybe the first time that there is an intentional manipulation to this dream of sorts. Just this pouting, like the manipulation of a child,
Yeah.
and not like strong arming. They want Brana to feel guilty. And I don't know what conclusions Brana draws from that, but that's what happens.
He'll have a a thing when he wakes up.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anything significant?
No, I think when you wake up, Octavia will be there, meditating, with the on the floor. Yeah.
They give us all 4 rooms.
There's
Yeah,
4 rooms.
Ronnie's
No,
crashing
like
in his own
that's
bed.
that's what is in my brain.
No one
is-
slept in the room with Alabra. No one would be able to sleep in the room.
No.
And all of you will wake up to the smells of every kind of breakfast meat and like loud noises. Before you even go down, you suspect that there will be a giant breakfast.
Alabra beats you all downstairs if he smells food.
Ron is
And he's
gonna
back.
Ron is gonna linger before he goes downstairs.
If there's food, he woke up. And if any of y'all were on the stairs go before him, I shudder to think what would have happened.
I think Ronnie, I think you can tell me if this is true, but I think Ronnie probably wakes up to Alabroth going by with just the familiarity of, oh, my roommate. Like, so you recognize he went down to get food.
Be like, oh, the sound of a herd of baby elephants. That is-
4 hours.
Stomping
Octavia
claws,
was
just
running,
Yeah, like Octavia.
doing like yoga on the roof or some shit.
probably could hear him eating, if anything.
I think Octavia is, in addition to whatever thoughts you have for her, the most advanced society. The most
Yeah.
advanced society is just like thrumming, but also like, how is she feeling about like, does she have questions for Ember that she's, because there was an indication that something Kalsha are different somehow.
Yeah, she definitely has questions for Ember. She has a different set of questions for her parents than she had. And especially after that stuff, it's going to be a complicated conversation if she ever gets back there.
Yeah.
I have questions for Octavia.
Well, I think, do you head downstairs when you hear out, like once you get up and stuff, or do you?
Is there like meaningful amounts of washing up that can be done in his room?
Do that later.
Not meaningful amounts. You're able to clean up some. Like last night in the kitchen, there is some running water, and there's a pitcher at the end of the hall with bowls, so he can do some.
Okay.
Once he grabs that, and, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be up very early, but he's gonna take a little more time getting ready,
Mm-hmm.
just because he's having weird feelings.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, like, does that feel weird for him? The hesitance by itself feel weird to him, kind of?
The hesitance feels weird, but he's also, like, he's very confused by everyone else's more conflicted feelings, because this seems like, not like an easy situation necessarily, but it seems very cut and dry to him that neither one of these, like, extremes that have been presented as this kind of false dichotomy where they've allied themselves strongly against each other, like, they're both wrong. And he doesn't understand everyone else getting, like, mixed feelings in their gut, because he's like, no, they're both bad. That's all it is. It's they're both bad. They're both wrong, and you don't have to pick a side here because they're both wrong.
Yeah. Entirely fair. It's almost like
And-
somebody set up a
He's also
space like that.
he's also, like, not going to forgive Alabroth until he gets a direct one-to-one I'm sorry,
It's entirely fair.
That's
because
what Octavia had to give him.
everyone else, like, rejoined as a group, but Ronnie hunted him down to reconnect with him the way he promised he would whenever Alabroth was storming away. He deserves that.
You really, I mean, not to
And
gang
to
up
be,
on
and to
Alabama.
be
Yeah.
fair, like
Yeah,
probably
actually,
during that time, it wasn't that great of a relationship during
No.
that time. I've probably been an ass for a while to you, and you've had to like.
I think he really feels it, and there's kind of a thing. Ronnie doesn't have a lot of insecurity, but all of a sudden, I wasn't proof of concept for family. Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't enough for you.
Oh no, you were taken for granted.
And
Absolutely.
you found out when you got there that he was going to be done forever, and you have no idea what that means for the two of you. Like,
Yeah.
that's,
He's like,
yeah.
he's been super, super taken for granted, but he's also been the one who came through for real from before day one. And him getting a blanket, I'm so sorry, everyone, does not cut it.
Yeah, like you know in your heart of hearts that Alabroth would have not regathered the group if you hadn't sought him down. Like, he would have done the thing, I think, but I don't know, you don't know if he would have regathered everyone in order to do it. And I think that Ronnie feels a way that, like, when you're growing up, the first time you're like, no, I am wronged. I'm not just irritated. I'm not just whatever. I have a right to feel this way. And that feels newish for Ronnie to feel that anger against somebody he loves so much in a way that reinforces the idea of family. He didn't feel it when he met his mom. But he's like, no, you owe me more than this. Like, we're more than this. So yeah, that makes sense. So do you think he waits till he hears, like, other people go down to make sure, or do you think he...
He probably wouldn't be looking for other people to go down. He's just like, okay, he's up.
Octavia flips in through a window.
And he's just gonna, like,
Ah,
take his time, like, with the washstand in his room to, like, clean up.
process a little, like,
Yeah,
okay,
clean
I'm
up.
angry, but also,
Yeah.
like, now what do I do with that?
Yeah, be mad, be unsure of what even needs to be done, and confused at why everyone else is so much more confused than he is.
Maybe even irritated that, like, maybe even just irritated that it should have been such a great reunion and it had great moments, and now, like, everybody's just wrong about stuff, and Alabroth is being an asshole, and, like,
Yeah,
so yeah,
but-
that composure, like, okay.
Yeah.
which he's
Moral
aware of.
I'm the center. I'm the emotional. I hold. Okay, and Ronnie goes down whenever he's ready. Do you two, like you said, when Brana wakes up, you're meditating, right?
Yeah, are you meditating? Well, if you wake up from a nightmare, she's there meditating, but like she doesn't sleep very long, so she does like go do her morning workout and then comes in.
Yeah.
If you will allow me, I will actually happily flip in through a window.
It's the second floor.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how playful you're feeling, because you're aware that would wake Brana up to run up the wall and flip
Fair.
through a window.
Well, yeah. So no, never mind. I was thinking she was genuinely doing yoga on the roof. No, she
well
does.
then, yeah, she could
Yeah.
flip through the window.
Swaying from the eaves.
Yeah.
So you
Rana will be awake when you come in there in the
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm gonna go eat.
All right,
So-
I'll be down in a minute.
Do I get time with Ronnie before everybody gets down?
That's why I was asking if Ronnie
Yeah.
waited, because I don't know.
Ronnie's not going to pay any attention to the rest of everyone else. So he's gonna, he's not listened for them. He would probably hear them, but, like, he's tuned into Alabroth because they've, like, been primarily roomies for the past, like, 8 months or whatever.
I'm
I
going
don't
to
know.
say no, because Ronnie
Okay.
took extra time composing himself. But
Yeah,
also, I
like-
think it's yeah.
Like, if they're waiting, then, yeah, he...
Well, good. So he had time to engorge himself. Good.
Yeah,
On food.
but I do want
Uninterrupted.
you to roll me an insight check. There's one thing you might be able to glean a little.
Because you would also, all of you would know, you would know
That's
more.
19.
That Ronnie's generally kind of an early bird.
That's what he was good. That's the only thing you pick up on. It's like, and you know Ronnie to be a pretty light sleeper, and he doesn't
Okay.
get hit as hard as you, so he tends to not need deep recovery sleep.
Mhm.
So I don't know what you take away from that, but it is weird, and you do notice that.
I think then I would be probably the first one downstairs.
Probably. Azra, what was your vibe? You sleep in? Do you... I think you might be having some jet lag. Like,
Actually,
I probably overcome them. But also, like, you had a time where night and day was
Yeah.
for an extended period. That can mess with you for a while. I don't know how disciplined she's been about, like, schedule.
Disciplined about sleep schedule is not a strong suit of college students, so I'm going to say probably not. I think she probably stayed up too late and was also like anxious about like trying to like solve problems in her head, even though she can't solve all these problems in her head. So
Yeah.
stayed up too late, and she's probably last to breakfast, I would imagine.
Okay, so that makes sense. You go down next. You probably follow shortly after, unless you choose not to.
He will follow later, but he wants to do
Okay,
something first.
yes, fair.
Then
So
it would
then
probably be
you-
Ronnie in the middle.
Then
of-
Ronnie, and depending on what you do, you will say. But yeah, what does Brana do after Octavia heads down for break?
He's gonna talk to the voices.
Okay, so you guys all gather. We're gonna vamp over to yeah, it's quiet in the room. Octavia's clearly pretty hungry, and I think you just head down. Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't give any indication that
there should be a little bit of food left over.
and you know Brana to be a little groggy first thing, especially if they had a lot of dreams, like, but doesn't seem particularly disturbed. So back to Brana's room.
He's gonna apologize first
Mm-hmm.
to the voices, but explain that it was necessary,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a bit of confusion and conflict in stuff that's happening, but he's not going to give detail. He's going to be very vague. And he's going to preemptively apologize that he might have to close them out again.
I think for the first time, if not the very first time, one of the first times ever, Brana actually feels chosen because they've been trying to establish this communication forever.
Yeah.
You know that they don't know the future, really. It doesn't seem like in any kind of way. So they've been trying for a reason. And in a weird way, he sits there and thinks about it, they didn't know what the purpose was for which you were chosen, but you were ready last night to both bring a boy's father back and to eject a voice in what seems like a very high stakes game. And like, I don't know how it hits Brana, but for the first time Brana feels special. Like, he wasn't special because he was chosen because he's special.
He is going to ask, knowing that they probably can't give him an answer. Why hasn't Kellamvor talked to me directly yet? If he chose me specifically.
You feel that question is very, because you'd sent requests, but you feel that question is heard, but it would make sense to you that there's not an immediate answer. But that
You have
answer
to set it
might
up
be
to check.
easier to come by. You feel like there might be an answer that comes back at you.
Yeah.
It's like texting me.
What?
So it's like texting me.
It's like sending
Same.
up the chain of command.
Like an answer's
Like-
coming.
I'll ask my manager.
Back to you in 3 to 5 business days.
Yeah.
You still feel a bit of distance there, and I think you recognize for the first time that the voices, the presence has both an emotion and a job. The job has been to prepare you to whatever. They're still hurt, but their job is to know and to communicate into whatever. So you feel the, well, let's just move on vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with the weird new nuance, you're like in the adolescence of your communication with this thing.
He before he finishes this and goes downstairs, I will give a heads up before I do that again. I promise. Sorry.
You're like, the vibe you get is like, okay. And I think maybe he's sitting there like twirling one of the pearls.
Yeah.
You get the vibe that it's like, for most of it, like you need, there's boundary, blah, blah, blah. You keep that fucker there as long as you want. You should suffer. His soul should suffer. He's an asshole. Because the changeling, like that vibe was something he had worried about. Was the very first like big moment dream that you had was of the changeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, he can suffer for a while in the pearl if he needs to.
Okay. Alright. After that, he'll go downstairs.
So yeah, what's downstairs like?
Tense.
Sarai is sleepy, a little messy, a little disheveled.
I don't know, Octavia doesn't really say anything when she comes down, just kind of a good morning, sits down, starts eating.
It's good to see you. I was not sure I'd ever see you again.
Is it? That's good.
How's Imba?
I haven't seen her in a while. I have actually been back in the country for a little bit, hiding, investigating the border, actually. The weird magic stuff. Yeah. But last I saw her, she was good. I saw my parents and talked to them. That was odd. It was, stuff. And you in your home country?
Went home for a bit and wasn't feeling it. Didn't like what my father thought of me. It was the wrong kind of acceptance. It did not feel comfortable. So I left and...
He was excited that you were, what, killing things?
It did not feel appealing.
No.
So I struck out again, and
No, your dad sucks.
he can be difficult.
Your dad's officially in his position as one of the Council of Five that are in charge of Rexterra.
But as you know, it was difficult to hide from one of us, one of the party, and have you heard from the king?
The king died.
Oh,
It seemed very normal when I got the message. It was sort of succession and
oh
then
dear.
passed away sort of.
You did know
She got
that.
caught. I didn't know that. Oh,
You did know that. You knew he passed like peacefully, and as part of the.
I am
so
shocked
loud.
that this is allowed to happen. She is not comfortable about. There we go.
Not for long.
Yeah, those moments are fleeting. Anyway,
You knew that he died. You
Hurry
know,
pretty hard
or
there.
you don't know that he died. You know they announced he died. You know that to be part of how they do changeovers.
okay. So I would have known that.
You would have known that. It
I'll skip
happened
that part then.
early.
Seemed normal. It's fine.
Jira's been in touch with you about once a month just to check in.
Yeah, Jira
Has
checked
reached out.
Jira checked
Yeah.
in a lot, which was nice. He sent messages.
I've been a bit distant.
Mm.
I do not believe I do not catch on that you are still upset with me.
I don't. Upset is the wrong word. I had accepted that you did not want to spend time with me ever again, and I accepted that you're an adult being, and that was just going to be how my life went. I was trained as someone who was not supposed to be around people for very long. So I had accepted that my time had come to an end, and to reopen is somewhat difficult for me. It does not, I'm not angry at all. I'm having difficulty readjusting to a certain extent. I was alarmed last night when you said you are nothing without us. That opinion of yourself is alarming.
I spent a while feeling nothing but anger and disappointment. I became attached to all of you and just chose, for some reason, to cut myself off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was because I wanted to hurt myself.
I'm going to interrupt you here because you guys don't get to choose a win.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say is Alibroth, as they're having this conversation, he notices something extremely different in Octavia. Octavia was
Clearly.
as awkward as ever on first sight. Like, still very, like, stumbling. What Alibroth recognizes is that she's extremely wise and steady, and once you engage her in conversation, the difference is palpable. She's rock
It hasn't gone
steady.
unnoticed.
And you, as somebody who's wisdom-based yourself, appreciates, like, this is a person who's taken a lot of time
There's some growth.
to know them. But I am going to say that, like, yeah, Ronnie walks in right then. And
Is
you
my
guys
back, because the next thing out of my mouth is
you
my
all
back.
notice each other right in that moment.
No, what was that going to be?
If you drop your voice enough, Ronnie does
Yeah,
not
as
have
Ronnie
to hear
walks
with
up.
that energy.
So if you cut yourself out, how did you treat Ronnie?
Ronnie is literally just like nod,
There's like a buffet.
yeah, beeline for
The
the food.
entire bar is covered in way too much, even for Alibroth, too much food to eat.
Impossible.
Every kind of eggs, every kind of breakfast meat. There's like
Whole
steaks.
pineapple.
There's
Please.
hash browns.
You
there's, like,
underestimated my power.
Showing like no face.
I've got the power of God in anime.
Brock is a giant half orc. Like, it is piled high.
Is there whole pineapples?
Yeah. But when you try and pick one up, they are like cut.
Sectioned.
So
Oh
they're like-
yes, that's the best.
Pineapple.
That's Soraya's doing. That's Soraya's doing.
So good.
And it is Soraya who's coming in and out with food. You haven't seen the other team yet. This
Rock
morning.
is too busy
Whenever
cooking.
she does not have her hands full, he'll be, "Hi, Soraya. Good morning," and give her like a half hug thing.
Oh, she kind of like turns in a way that invites him to do a whole hug.
Oh, okay.
And then she hugs you tight for a second, and then she's like, "Oh my eggs!"
Yeah, he's gonna like pick up some fried eggs, get a little bit of bacon. He'll like use whatever type of utensils are available to find specifically the chewy pieces, and then like load the rest up with fruit.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. I'll say
He
like
hasn't tried pineapple, so he's gonna get enough to make his mouth hurt and not know that that's what's gonna happen to him.
Oh, he's allergic.
Oh, Ronnie.
guess what this roll is? Pineapple is spicy.
Why is it spicy?
Why is it spicy?
So I think like you guys probably, I don't know if there's a follow, but there's kind of an awkward because Ronnie pretty quickly is within earshot while he's loading his plate.
Yeah.
You're sitting like when you walk in the tavern, to your left is a staircase, and the bar's at the back, but it's also very narrow, so you're just kind of sitting like looking at the staircase by the corner of the bar and the kitchen. And probably Azra comes, well, yeah, you have a minute before Azra is going to come down, I think. So, like, do you join them?
Ronnie.
Do you-
Yeah, Ronnie's gonna sit down, like next to Octavia because Alabroth's bulk is enough that it can make like comfortable conversation triangle.
Alabroth has a neat pile of plates that he's in, and full ones in front of him, but a neat
They're
pile.
all clean though.
Yeah.
Unusually clean. But anyway.
Roll an insight check. I just want to know if you know that you interrupted something.
Oh no, I'm sitting there looking at
Nat
Ronnie.
20 on that.
Hey!
They were talking about you. Somebody
I'm-
talked about
and I'm
you,
sitting there
and you
just-
don't know what any of it was. But somebody said something about you.
I'm clearly patiently waiting for Ronnie to finish. Like, I've stopped eating.
Good morning.
Morning.
I did yoga on the roof. It was fun.
Is the roof flat or like?
No, that's what makes it more complicated.
You-
That does
Okay.
make it complicated.
Yeah, it's a balance issue. It's good. It's very good for balance.
It seems like it would make the stretches feel really off balance.
But it makes them more important to hold steady for sure.
Good for your core.
Very good for your core.
Ripped.
I'm gonna go get some more food. Octavia leaves.
Roll me a luck check. I want to see when you walk in.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, I'm gonna,
We're
as soon as
gonna say-
Octavia walks away.
we're going to say the lower it is, the faster you
Yeah.
walk in.
No, Octavia walk away. I got this. It's mine.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
what'd
you
you
can go, I want to see that.
Kristen don't give a damn about what I say. He's waiting for you to give the okay.
No, he's going to choose when he comes in based
Oh,
on
okay.
what he rolled. When she comes in based on what he rolled.
You could have let me walk away 8 months ago. You went out of your way to find me.
I told you I would.
And I've been a shit to you for 8 months. You still could have walked away. You could have left me in my pity and the state I was in. Why?
You're my best friend.
There are not enough words in any language on this planet that I could express my apologies to you. I'm ashamed of how I did treat you in all of this time, and you were still there, never left. And everything would tell me that you were there. Though I thought I did not want you there. And you stayed. I don't know how to say enough sorries to you.
Journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
And you were there every step of the way. The bounty hunting, the snide attitude, even when I didn't even want to be around my own family. I almost consider you more than my best friend, as I always have. But I did take for granted your friendship. Because though I was where I was, it was always there. And I'm sorry.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You could have left me. I don't think I would have reached out to the others had you not been there, just as an anchor of some sort. I could have hid from you. Absolutely, I could have. My mustache. You're just lucky I wasn't wearing it when you found me.
You think I I couldn't tell.
Like a fly on the wall. I'd be.
I think you both know how ridiculous this is. Ronnie is an incredible tracker.
Oh, I'm completely. I am completely full of shit on this comment.
Yeah,
Like,
didn't you learn to track on a stony ass island?
It's not stony.
but we'll agree to
fucking
disagree
hardest
that,
shit.
some part of me let me find you and made it easier for you. We'll just have to agree to disagree on that matter.
Okay.
Okay.
And as much as Alabras tried to resist it, just the you talked about them being your family, your own family. You have various relationships. Like your little sister adores you.
Well, yeah, she married a
and
Triton.
your mom, cares
Oh, that's my
about
sister.
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
have
think
it
it's your
written down.
baby sister. I thought.
I think so too.
I have.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was my baby sister.
Yeah.
I got notes. Oh,
River and Mistral or something. I have it.
well, finally.
I have it written down in
Anyway.
a different notebook.
Regardless,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
She adores
reference
you,
that.
but she's still she's young and in love. She's mature enough to get married, but is still a little childlike in some ways. Isn't all the way into herself. The lifespans are weird and work different. But the rest of your family just kind of waved at you as you left, and
You were in contact with everybody else too. A bit.
Occasional contact with Brana, and in contact with both Brana and Azra in the first couple of days, while they were all still in Strassus. There wasn't really any need to stay in contact with Azra, so there wasn't any
I think that's
letters.
one thing
Well,
you just confirmed.
clearly
reach
Azra-
out to me at some
Azra
point,
was busy.
knowing
Yeah.
that she could.
Yeah, it would have been a thing where here's where you can find me if you need to reach out. Feel free.
Well, you knew she could magically at any point.
Yeah, and it would be he knows that if he has any need for communication, he can just send it to the academy, and that's where Azra will probably be.
Is that what you told her? Probably.
Especially in the
early.
Yeah, when we were talking for the first couple of days, yeah, I would have said that.
Yeah.
Are you shocked at all that Azra found herself in something else while we were gone? I find it quite humorous.
I am surprised to find out that the mark on the forehead was from trying to rip the knowledge from her friend's mind.
Yes.
But
Boyfriend, actually. That's when she enters.
is he a boyfriend right now?
Perfection.
No.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
curiously, where have you hidden Ori again?
He is within the shipwreck hall right now.
Is he okay there?
I
Is there
didn't
food
wait
there?
to find out.
How?
Oh god, we're
How
gonna
did
back
you,
to fucking
as we were
corpse.
speaking before you, how did you arrive to find yourself so deep in this nest that you are now in?
I am very fascinated at your capacity to find yourself in cahoots with shady characters.
I don't know, it seems
And
pretty
your
natural.
Yeah, do you? Do you though?
Octavius is back down.
and the sheer luck that you have that you are still here after all of that.
Yes. Well, we'll see how much longer I last.
I know this death ward thing. I keep putting it on you just in case.
Honestly, that might strategically be the best move right now because they're coming for my ass.
Are you for sure about this, or is this a thing you suspect?
A strong suspicion. I have not seen anybody on my trail, but also I now teleport wherever I want to in the world, so it'd be
That's
pretty
useful.
difficult anyway.
I can do that too.
Hell yes, sister.
I will say
No, brother, damn it.
the list that you came across was within when you were with Stossel and Duras and Draven. So that's where the list physically was.
Oh, they're the ones who. Okay.
So there is significant reason to think
Um,
that they'd come after you for that.
Because they might suspect. Oh wait, where's Azra? Oh.
Well, and just you got it at that's the level list originated, or at least was among.
Hey, out of character question: who is sitting on the throne right now? Cool.
His
Anyway,
son, his oldest son.
one of those
Yeah.
that we would know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He's called the Unseen. I forget. It's like Reuben or something. I have it. I don't have it here.
Brand the broken.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah, the line of succession was followed properly. You would know that because
Oh, cool.
Jiro would have told you that.
just
and
making
told
sure. I just wanted to clarify.
everyone else that.
And like you guys all have a connection that still represents some social or political power within that kingdom, but it is not somebody you know. It's somebody you know of.
Did our money come up at any point?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
you had, yeah.
I don't know how much
You're
money.
supposed to send me stuff that you want.
I think I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was one thing we're trying. Okay, we'll look at that.
Okay.
I
Because
definitely didn't.
Yeah.
that would be one thing that now he really requires. Because he went into that battle with like his old shit. Like,
Yeah.
I got nothing new.
I didn't put anything new on my.
My
either.
stuff is just beat the hell out of.
But yeah, all of you, I think maybe Alibroth, uncertain about whether he would need the higher level spell, has been hoarding his gold, so that can happen in game. Your
Okay, I've seen it
upgrades,
very
but
much.
that's the rest of you have your updated looks, and we'll talk about equipment. But for story reasons,
I don't fit my armor
Alibroth has
anymore.
had the beat up armor still because he was scraping together every penny in case he needed the next level. I think, yeah, so it's the four of you were talking about. Sorry,
Yes.
I forgot. I blanked on where.
We were talking about how Azra's got involved and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Reason to believe that this might be a priority to them to chase you.
yes. So obviously Ori was not on speaking terms with me. When I found out that he was on the hit list, I sort of just snuck into his home at night and I drew a teleportation circle around him and I took him to the shivering hall while he slept.
So what do I?
And he woke up pretty much drowning underwater until I gave him the password, and then
I think you walk in enough to, they haven't seen you yet, but you
to
hear
clarify,
this, and
he is aware that you did this.
I beg your pardon.
yes.
You're going to. I wonder how.
Grana walks in to hear the very last couple sentences.
Oh.
Like,
He's got a plate with like a cinnamon bun. Just like,
Alibroth checks spellbook to see just how Death Ward works, just to make sure this is going to be enough.
he,
I don't think I'm going to be able to help you too much.
Now
I'll do
you
my best.
were in the Shimmering Hall before. Are there like food, restrooms, like washrooms?
How long has he been there?
Alibroth, you're gonna like the shivering hall.
I am.
So there is food.
Wait.
So there's a lot of food.
What? Go on.
The first thing within the shivering hall is a unlimited banquet hall.
Screw the armor. Let's go now.
set for 100 people. Like 100 place settings.
Who really needs an almond shit these days? We should head out now. Have you considered what our next course of action should be? Maybe perhaps what you would ask the changeling? Should we capture this Draven person?
Honestly, my brain was so frazzled last night. I thought a lot about it, and I came to virtually no conclusions yet.
I don't think there's a time limit on how we can.
I am of the opinion that we should simply sit on that for however long needed, because what do we really need to ask him right now?
I would argue that I'm quite fine that he's in there.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that
Does he
we need
feel
to
that way?
know from him.
I don't know, it makes
right
me feel
now.
better.
You feel like
And
you're
it might
irritating
come
him,
up
and it
later.
makes you happy.
I might perhaps
May I
like to
try?
know
May I try?
what it does about perhaps anything that it knows that I don't about the
does feel
enlightened
better.
that you might be able to exploit.
Voices are also okay with me doing
Um,
Wait.
I do think it
that.
it appears to me that we
They didn't like him either.
You're listening.
Usually.
But no.
I learned how to shut them out. They weren't there last night.
But we talked before.
Oh, I need a warning before I start talking about stuff if they're still in your head. So they're in your head right now?
Okay.
Okay.
Typically they are. they know I might have to do it again.
And how well are you hearing them, my friend? I must ask.
Just kind of shrugs. I mean, I'm more used to it. We've gotten better at communicating.
Certainly say so. You seem less conflicted about it.
Wait, that was the first time you shut them out?
Yeah.
That we know of.
Intentionally.
They got front row seats.
Oh, do you mean when...
No, that's not important.
Roll insight checks.
I'm using the good dice on this one.
Aww, it's like an 11.
Okay.
Hold on,
You're
hold on,
like,
hold on.
Oh!
Hold
You're
on,
like,
hold
did
on, hold on, hold on.
Octavia also have a crush on Brona?
29.
I think,
I will take the tea
you
now.
catch Ronnie's eye and just. But
Wait.
Ronnie actually doesn't have to. Yeah, no, Ronnie has to. What is Ronnie?
I'm doing the face like the dude in the meme where he's like,
17.
You guys can roll deception if you want, if you think you're legitimately so distracted by it.
Yeah. 9.
It's also a thing where it's only if you want to.
what did you roll?
Rolled a 2. Both of you. Well, actually, maybe not you.
I know
because
everything.
I think
Everything.
Ronnie has
So
a habit of
distracted by,
blurting
like-
out your secrets because they're stupid.
Yeah.
He has always kept your secrets.
Yeah.
Just hand over the autobiographies. I know all now.
It's just you. That's. You know. Like, you just see that and you're like, oh.
Bing. Got it.
Oh! And I think the two of you are so distracted by, like, you're trying to pick up her meaning, and she was just
Yeah.
so, like, embarrassed at the idea that she
Yeah.
had, like, an audience.
If it helps, they don't see things. They
It's not important.
oh, yeah.
Anyway.
She was
Anyway.
like, and yeah.
He shoves
Less than
the sweet bun just
It was
Oh, it was an 11.
I rolled
You
9.
pick it up gradually. You're like, oh, something happened. Something happened.
Oh.
He has shoved the
And
entire...
I don't know how it hits her in the context of their conversation.
Oh!
In the aftermath of that, Rock and Pebbles walk through the front door.
Surprised he's up.
Rock is holding a canvas in front of him, and as they're kind of like, they've always been super polite. They're so caught up in each other in this moment that they're not even paying attention. They're walking back to like put it up, and you see a very formal sitting looking Rock on a stone with his head turned that Pebbles have painted of him in the sunrise. And yeah, they kind of walk back in the kitchen, and you hear voices starting to, so you know you're about at the end of your, just the 5 of you.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody says anything in that moment.
That's cute.
I would be letting them have their moment. They deserve that.
I'm admiring the painting. He's
I'd
Really
kind of just,
gotten better.
of course, be like a goofball.
They don't even see you. Like,
Okay, then,
they're
never
just
mind.
so wrapped up.
Wow, assholes.
I think that makes him
this
feel a
was a
little.
nice little boy,
Selfish.
but like,
I
whatever.
think that makes Alabama feel a little bit better about the events of last night because it feels realer, like to see them reunited again without everything else going on. It
And
just-
you recognize that the exhaustion is still so deep with Rock, but like
he's out. He's trying.
he's trying his best. Like, you don't get days off as a parent
You'll
very
get some.
often, and he wants to be there. And after a couple minutes, they all kind of wander on out from the back. It looks like Soraya's maybe finally done cooking, which means the bar is still overflowing with all food, but it's full and you guys are slowing down. So they're just like, and they come out and I don't know, like if you appear to be deep in conversation, they're gonna leave you alone. But if you're just kind of,
I think. Oh, I thought a decision was made about where we were going. We're going to the hole. Is that right?
Can we not refer to it as that?
What would you rather refer to it as?
Anything else but the whole.
Oh,
The hall.
I don't even
The
like.
hall.
I don't even like
Do
saying.
you want to go to the hall?
Please don't make it worse.
you want to go to the bitch's hole?
Wow.
Bitch's hall is pretty good.
The BH.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Bacon
come
and
out. They wander back
Should
out.
refer to it as bacon and ham.
Pebbles sees you guys walking back out and like 180s, goes and gets the picture and brings it out to show you guys. Look, I've gotten better.
It got better.
It's wonderful. Oh, that's a British accent. That's wrong.
Hello.
It's absolutely beautiful.
And you guys, we're gonna kind of dim the lights there for now. You guys
Sick drug message too.
catch up, spend some time together, at the very least, have a nice breakfast and a little bit of time, and we'll pick up either right there or at the teleport next time.
Alright.
And that's all for this session of everything. Thank you guys for joining us. You guys rock. And as we always say around here,
Keep on nerding. I can save my product for
Corey, you have
next.
to stop it.
Was
I have
hilarious.
to stop it.
We can't change until you stop it.
What if I never
I can
stop it?
watch. Oh my God! Look, mirror.
you did
It mirrored. It mirrored. Wait, I gotta turn my hips too.